Welcome to Games XP Championship. We're here at the final match. We've got White Lotus, we've got Schism Esports, we've got a best of 5. This will be the end of the Games XP season. Both these teams got here off the back of a Game 5s onto their sets, and we are looking forward to quite the clash between these two teams. And those of you joining us, of course, I'll caster Skyson. I am joined tonight by Laxon.
Thank you for having me here, Skyson. And what an amazing set of games we're going to have here based on the not only the hype, but we can certainly say there's been some tension probably from week 1 between these two teams.
You definitely saw that both these teams, and I mean, I saw it a lot going forward, especially Schism in the very early stages of this team. Was a team that had built a lot of momentum coming up early. They were very much looking like a team that was looking to take the number 1, number 2 spot going forward. They had some, ups and downs throughout most of the first half, a little bit in the second half, but they overcame. They got through. They ran through their playoff bracket. They 3-0'd Reign of Kings in their revenge match, which was incredible. They brought Purple Cobras down 3-2, and they're here in the finals. Meanwhile, we see White Lotus. And of course, this team has been dominant since, from the get-go. Right out the gates, they've been taking win after win. And we see them coming in today as the team on top. So we're here to see if they're going to continue to bring that dominance forward, or if we're going to see if Schism is the end of the line. And we are going into pick bans.
And interesting first ban is I believe we've seen Fresh on that Urgot for a few games, so possibly just worrying that Goose might be a bit better on just a respect ban there.
Yeah, taking away the Urgot as they don't want to give it away. Maybe they have a more higher priority first pick in mind that they don't want to give away the Urgot after picking up. Of course, I'd be interested to see if we go with the Urgot ban if they decide to take out the Aatrox. Because we did see Goose play 2 very convincingly solid games of Aatrox in the last series of Cobras. But they are going to take away Kindred from No Excuse.
And I'd be surprised if we don't see one ADC ban come out here from Schism, as we do see Kench go away as well. So almost a little disrespect, as we both know Fuji and Etheric are 2 very powerful forces on this White Lotus squad, but neither have received a ban yet. I
think that it speaks more to the depth of their champion pools. I think we've seen both Fuji and Etheric play a very wide array of champions and have varying degrees of success on all of them. I think we've, you see Etheric a lot on the Lucian and Kaisa. He's pulled out wins on the Tristana. He has it on the Jhin. Both those, I think that targeting them versus, the setups off of Kairos and Daydreams, who Daydreams had a lot of great saves on Tahm Kench in the set against NFG. So taking away the option to, pick apart the rest of their team is going to be very important for them. So I think that, going for these specific, the Nocturne ban to get away from their team engage, Tahm to go away from, so they can make a pick comp and not have to worry about Tahm saving somebody. And then I guess the Aatrox ban they're going to go with. But they're going to prioritize the Lucian here on the side of White Lotus for Etheric.
Yeah, we've seen Ethereal or Etheric now carry on Lucian. I'm surprised we don't see a Xayah come out right away. Possibly scared the backpack will take out Rakan, but certainly one of the few ADCs he's had better performances on, Gazelle, though I've never really seen Etheric had too many off performances.
And we do see they take the Braum away on the side of because I'm not going to hand over the Lucian, so we are going to see it on backpack side here, and we're looking at the Camille hover, and that is going to be the Camille jungle for No Excuse.
Now, it is possible they could rotate that up to Goose. I haven't personally seen him play it, but it is always possible that if the matchup's right or they need to rotate something else through the jungle, that they could move it there. But it is more likely, as you said, that Excuse is going to be the one to play that Camille, and we're going to need to see a top lane pick come out eventually.
Seeing the Thresh for Daydreams is interesting. Something I was going to speak up on after the Tahm Kench ban is the, Alistar being up. And, seeing the Braum pick, having that ability to, go for maybe the Lucian Alistar combo is something I thought the Daydream totally enjoy having on his plate. But they are going to go with the Thresh here. And another one of Daydream's pretty signature picks. So letting him have it. And then Kairos, of course, is going to go to his Amumu. It's been the jungler's most prominently played, I think, ever since the more heavy-handed Sejuani nerfs. So seeing him on the Amumu is not too surprising, but we are going to see Steven Eater most likely on the Galio, which is a champion that I'd say, probably is top 2. I think if it's not Zillion, it's going to be Galio for him. The saving ultimate, the ability to deal some AoE damage in the CC, it's been a really reliable pick for him.
And it's interesting to note that both top laners haven't made their pick yet. I'm surprised the pool isn't shrinking anymore, as we do see the Ori ban or the Kai'Sa as well. They're focusing on those carries, but it's like with this Victor top open, we've all seen it in our solo queue games. We've all felt the heavy hands of it, but there's other prio picks, possibly like a Poppy, a Scion, that really aren't being taken off the table. So it'll be interesting to see what these top laners grab with just a lot of options left open.
Yeah, I feel like the interesting thing about the Victor top is you open your hand by picking the Victor top first, because I feel like it's more of a melee oriented counter lane matchup. So if you pick the Victor top and the other top laner has some answer of theirs up their sleeve, then you kind of open yourself up to not being able to answer some of the more meta champions. But if you see the Scion first, then you're giving the other guy the option to pick the Victor. So I think that Schism holding their last pick for this top lane to give Goose the counter pick is going to be very important to see what they are going to end up pushing Freshburger onto, because I think that one of the good conditions for Schism to look for Victor here is seeing Goose go toe to toe with Freshburger here in this top lane, and if he's able to create some pressure and get over top of him, then it will definitely be a huge boon on the side of Schism. So they are going to force the Victor out of his hand. So we are going to see what Goose has up his sleeve to answer this Victor, as we're looking for a mid lane pick from Adrian's.
And as we talked about, it is mostly that melee counter, as you said. Some of these non-conventional top picks that can get a little scary. We've seen a few Kennons throughout the last couple weeks this series, but nothing. Ooh, the Akali on Fuji trying to get that pass. But we've seen, Kennen, a handful of range champions. Surprised to see a melee champ just confidently brought into that Victor.
Huh.
But again, I'm a support main, so that's the other side of the map. I'm not really sure what goes on up there. But would you know anything about that?
Echo's interesting because I feel like Echo has always been an interesting champion to be from being a mid laner where you had to deal with the time of tank Echo, where you could reliably build resistances, you could reliably build health on him, and sort of get away with doing a lot of damage so you can get through things. But the interesting thing about Echo into these types of matchups is he's not as easily kited, I would say. Of all the melees I can imagine throwing into Victor, Echo is one that tends to be a little bit stickier. He has, the phase dive on his E. He has the ability to throw the range projectile. If he can get a good angle to land a slow off of it, he can go in. But I don't think that as a top lane matchup, with the length of the lane, that it's going to be. I don't think he's going to find what he wants in this pick.
Yeah.
I think that he can definitely still be kind of kept at bay from this Victor.
Well, the interesting to note is theoretically, I love to play with theory, and theoretically, Echo is great into Victor because you have ranged poke, a dash, a stun that shields you, burst damage, and a way to revert your position again, other than the dash, that also can heal you. So theoretically, that's just almost every option you would want into Victor. But the problem is that a lot of that Echo play is so mechanical and so timed that Victor just doing something as simple as upgrading his Q first with that augment, and then just not throwing down the stun right away, he wins the matchup. And the Echo can really never go in unless he sees some of those abilities burned, especially with that Q cooldown fairly low.
Right.
So I'm assuming that this is either a burst early matchup and we'll see Camille top a lot in those first 3 or 4 levels, or maybe this is just a farm lane where Echo tries to use his Q to counter push that Victor, and we're just gonna watch it happen because that Q farming is so easy. that Victor might have to upgrade that E first instead of that Q, which is going to harm him a lot just to push the wave back. But just to snap over to some of these other lanes, Akali versus Galio, I gotta say it's interesting. I've seen it go both ways. I've seen it go Akali's way more often than not. It's easier to outplay the Galio, but
Right.
a few good taunts, Qs, and dashes, and you might be good to go. What's your opinion on that mid lane?
I think that it's interesting the back and forth. You look at the top and the mid lane. I think that you get a case of Echo hit has a lot of options and a lot of different ways he can attack the approach, and Victor can just hit Q and walk away. While I look at the mid lane and I kind of see Akali setting up for combos, trying to find the right, the backflip stricken to go in, and Galio just kind of taunts to shut her down. So I think I see sort of the ease of the matchup going one way or the other in both the solo lanes. I do think that Stevenator has the ability to keep Fuji at bay here on this Akali, and I think that a lot of that will be on the back of No Excuse on Camille. I think if he's looking for early plays, he may look mid. And Kairos, on the other hand, I want to say both junglers are going to look mid, but I think that No Excuse is going to be the one we're going to look for to make some early plays to try to get Stevenator an early kill over top Fuji, build some items over him, and not have to worry about dying to him at all.
And really quick, that bot lane, I will just quickly give it over to that Ezreal Braum just because of that stun far range poke. Lucian is going to have to jump in to get that.
Yep, having the Braum shield is definitely going to be a huge boon in their favor, and we are heading to a commercial break. We will catch you guys for Game 1.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa, and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
And we are here, White Lotus versus Schism Esports. Game 1 of this final match. Make sure you get your bets in, everybody in chat. Drop that exclamation mark bet WL, exclamation mark bet SKZ. Want to see everybody lose all of their points, throw all your points in the pool. This is what matters. And right now, White Lotus is sitting at 80% of the votes. Schism is sitting at 20%. Schism fans, I know you're out there. Throw your points in the pool. Show me what you got. As far as this goes, we see some standard setup in the jungle.
Definitely standard setup. The one thing that worries me a bit are these keystones Well, not worry necessarily. Braum has Unsealed, which technically means there can be 4 teleports on the side of Schism at any time. And that's something that happens. And then we see that Electrocute from Echo as well. What do you think about those, Skyson?
I think Electrocute on the Echo is interesting. I think that, you have the ability to make the short range combos. The last time I recall Echo doing things, he was running Phase Rush, and that was sort of interesting, setup on that champion. But, getting the damage in short bursts on the Electrocute for the Echo, it'll be important, I guess, if he's, able to get in on the Victor to burst him down. Because, the champion with a shield and the champion with the ability to fight back in kind of way, it'll be interesting. It'll be important whatever windows of damage he can put down on that Victor anytime. So, Electrocute is it's something for sure.
Yeah. And we snapped top for a second, and although it didn't show us much, it showed us something very interesting. Echo saved the Q to try to hit Victor with it, instead of trying to shove that wave right away. So it's possible he is looking, as I guessed early, to just try to burst that Victor early and get lucky.
Ooh, hooks in on Tej. They're going to pull him in and get tapped down, but that's level 1 Etheric. Nice bit of damage coming down on Schism in the first place. Fuji's going to get taunted up, he throws down the smoke. Mini fights happening all over the place.
Yeah, but sadly, there's not almost dying there, that hook. There's just not enough damage to truly burst someone yet, unless they're a little bit too foolish and stay. But Ezreal, without that heal and having teleport instead, means that he can't try to survive or pull something tricky into Etheric. He just kind of has to gauge his HP.
Ooh, Goose on top of Freshburger, trying to get some damage down. It's a little Electrocute proc on him. I think he comes out pretty even on the trade, though.
And that's what scares me a bit with this Echo pick. Coming out even against this early Victor does not bode well unless this Echo can get some kind of a farm lead or some kind of definitive lead to make sure he can outburst later.
We're seeing nice trades come out throughout each lane. Steven are going a little bit low against Fuji there. Goose is trying to set up a combo here. Finds the triple auto on Fresh, gets a shield of his own. Comes out about even on that one. I mean, it's going to keep happening here, but Echo does spin. Oh, Fuji. The gank's coming through. Steven Air finds the taunt. He's in the smoke. Fuji's standing still. No excuse trying to find him, but he throws it down. Maybe he's looking for Steven Air. No, he's going to drop on a no excuse. Misses the Shuriken flip. I don't even know what that skill's called. I'm going to call it the Shuriken flip for the rest of time. I could hover over and find the name right now, but I'm not interested. But we're looking for a little more. Not going to find the hook in the bot lane here. Let it rip.
It's called Shuriken Flip, just so you know.
Is it really?
It is.
Nice.
You mastermind. You absolute madman.
I made the Akali River, by the way. Just good lord.
And just a little bit of quirk from both these teams. We've seen. Oh, thank God he didn't die to red buff. I remember when. Just flashback to old Schism when Gaudier died to a buff. Just F's in chat.
It would be
for Gaudier.
It would be the 4th time we've seen someone die to a buff in Games XP this season.
Sadly, not the first time you see a Schism jungler die to a buff out of 4. So, oh bother.
Oh, Fuji finds the Shuriken flip in the Ignite and gets the first blood as Steven Air tries to flash in for the taunt. Doesn't make it happen. Fuji's going to find the kill there.
And just... I don't know why you'd flash, I gotta be honest. There's no return kill. You don't have the Ignite pressure. You don't really have that true burst on Galio. Even if you land it, you gotta kind of guess a bit, where Akali, after getting taunted for a little bit, can kind of dash out of it. So I don't really know what that flash is for. It might have been better to save it.
Jay-Z's looking for the flay. Backpack finds a double tap, and the W off illusion, not enough to take him out. Almost pushed the finishing touch on him, and they gotta back off here.
And so I was gonna say, before we saw a fight in mid and bot, is we're probably gonna see fights all around the map, like mid and bot.
Ooh, Goose! He's going in on Fresh. Fresh is low on mana here. Drops the gravity field. He gets the shield from his own W. He's got to find a place to go. He's out of mana. This is the Q. The outside goes with the flash. And he comes in off the phase dive and finds the kill. Goose getting the solo kill in top lane.
I think Goose might have heard us trashing that Echo pick a bit. And just proven a little bit there that there is some kind of worth to it. Oh, TP, and he's got to run. Got to blast. But, as I was going to say, we're going to see fights all over. Schism and White Lotus' style, funny enough, are very similar. These teams like to brawl early. They like to just throw hands. Whether it's a good idea or not, you'll see some Heshinshin trading, as I can call it, where it's just kind of like, what's a jungler? What's a trade? I can get damage on them. And it's a little bit reckless but we've seen both teams really be able to pull it off. So it'll be interesting to see if they can continue making a pull off here.
True, we have seen both Goose coming out of that lane and immediately putting a lot of damage down on Freshburger, saying, hey, Gravity Field doesn't really affect me, I got a dash to come out with. But looking pretty nice for him right now. Of course, now we see Freshburger has the Q upgrade, so the matchup, of course, pre-Q upgrade Victor and post-Q upgrade Victor are two different beasts, one would say.
Definitely, although...
Goose still looking here. Freshburger drops the Gravity Field, but Goose has the movement speed to get around, putting a lot of damage out there. And Goose has the ultimate available.
The more we see it, Goose is really looking for these short, bursty trades into Victor, which is the one thing Victor doesn't want. He wants these extended, slow burn fights where he can constantly keep that shield up.
Ooh. Oh, there's a Chaos Storm, but it's going to get the Echo ultimate out of it. Puts a little damage on him for chasing with the Chaos Storm. And Freshburger's pretty low in mana again. Victor costs pretty heavy here.
And it's possible to see another kill top soon if Goose wills it without Victor having any mana. But yeah, just that burst from Echo really being able to help him out. And an item thing to note is he does have 2 Dark Seals along with that Corrupting, where he does have that sustain upper hand as well if he can back and refill it when able. So Victor's going to have a hard time really keeping the damage poured onto this Echo.
You know, I was thinking about it, and when we went back to talking about the runes, and I remember the thing, you know, the major push from Electrocute to Dark Harvest on a lot of junglers was because they retuned Electrocute damage to, you know, they lowered the damage but lowered the cooldown, so it would proc more often. So it really does favor, you know, Goose is getting a lot of mileage out of that Electrocute proc. I feel he's, you know, finding when the Keystone comes back up and is able to make those short trades more meaningful by adding that extra burst of Electrocute damage in each of his trades. So I think that in terms of payoffs that Goose is making here, I really making it work. But of course, we are seeing Freshburger's pulling a little bit further ahead in CS, so he's doing his best to keep himself alive while, you know, focusing on the objectives here. It's sort of the Freshburger thing we see very often. Even if he, you know, goes 0-2, goes 0-3 in lane, he will very often keep himself afloat in CS.
It's possible to see the first good gank in a while here top lane. Although we aren't focused there yet.
No excuses here. We got the Camille ultimate down on Freshburger. He's looking around, has a Chaos Storm stun on, no excuse. He's looking for a way out. He drops the Q out of there, chasing him down. I don't think Freshburger has anywhere to go. He's gonna go down to somebody. No excuse, finds him. But we see the movement ultimate in the bot lane. T's trying to get out of there, tries, he's ignited. He might go down. Backpack's trying to get away next, and they're both gonna survive. Both members, and Kairos going dangerously low as well. He's warded in that bush, but I don't think they have the Ezreal ultimate.
Now Lucian has ult. Braum does not. And they are looking to stay here. This is a very, very easy textbook dive. Lucian flash, double auto, ult the other one. So it'll be interesting to see if we've seen Etheric go very aggressive. It'll be interesting to see if he tries to take it, or if that sustain is just enough where he doesn't think he can make it anymore. As they did pop a couple healing pots.
Yeah, so I don't think he wants to challenge the potions quite that early in the not exactly maybe knowing when Backpack might hit level 6, you know, a minion dies in the middle of your dive, suddenly Backpack 6 and you're both being knocked up. It's risky.
Definitely, although this bottom turret getting extremely low, and even though Goose does have, you know, Burger dying twice, we haven't seen any of those.
Ooh, we're finding the stun here. Goose getting down to Freshburg, and these gravity fields are not working out. The passive movement speed from, I believe it's either the passive or the W passive on Echo, really putting in a lot of work to get him out of the gravity fields here. Fuji finding a nice little combo on Stevenator trying to get through. Finds the Ignite in the auto, but he's going to get flashed away. He takes Tower Shot. And no excuse, sweeps the kill off the Camille W. And Fuji gets his aggression turned around on him.
That's just... Well, back to what I was saying a second ago, but real quick to touch on that. Just one of those very unfortunate situations when you plan out killing the mid laner, you know what's going to happen, and then you don't have that perfect jungle tracking, and go, you know, I wonder where the Camille is, and all of a sudden the Camille's on top of you. And just really good play from the side of No Excuse, really knowing how to position and knowing when to shoot to that mid lane.
Man, Freshburger dropping the gravity field in the wrong spot here. The Chaos Storm coming through on a Goose. Goose has the ultimate available, might try to look for something here. Goose doesn't have the ultimate available, Skyson. What are you talking about? He gets out of there.
It has to burn that flash. A little unfortunate. But I don't think any top laner could go in for fear the other one's burst. But as I was saying, we do see Goose having Burger die twice. Oh, don't do it to me again. I want to get this out. All right. Both top laners fighting. I'll sum it up quick. Goose getting Burger to die twice, but no tower damage top. There we go. So bot lane really suffering the most. That tower is at about a fifth of its health, 20% health. So just a few more good pushes bot lane if No Excuse doesn't decide to focus it. And we could see an early first tower gold. Or not early, we are 11 minutes in, but earlier than Schism would like a first tower gold in the side of for the side of White Lotus.
Right, that was the thing.
Yeah.
You even commented on that, and I completely didn't give it any mind. I'm like, who's teleporting bot lane? That'd be Ezreal. I pay attention, I promise.
No, I don't blame you at all. The times you see Ezreal with the teleport is probably only when you flame your ADC pre-solo queue for picking Ezreal.
No Excuse finds the flash and the ultimate. Fuji's locked up, and he's gonna go down real quick. No Excuse coming up big on this Camille. He's 3-0 now.
Now something I gotta be honest, something I've normally seen in the past is you'll see a jungler, and especially a jungler with a stun like a Mumu, try to kind of camp this mid lane because an Akali that's ahead is extremely dangerous. And Galio, while you think of him as being mobile, it's very easy to block his dash. So it's kind of interesting to see that actually reversed, and instead No Excuse ganging up on the Akali with Galio because of that CC they have, along with Camille's ult not letting Akali escape, which is what her kit is just extremely good at. So certainly kind of a flip and rolls in this mid lane, and possibly getting this Camille ahead, who's now 3-0, can really just scale Schism just through this mid lane to the point where they don't need to worry about Etherical Fuji doing too well.
Yeah, let's say we definitely maybe push this tower in bot lane here. Oh, backpack shield coming through. Saves it for another moment longer. And yeah, we talked about it a little bit in the champ select going in, that the importance of jungling, the junglers focusing in the mid lane here. It was definitely going to be a huge boon for No Excuse, who has the ability to set up the ganks for Steven here fairly well. You know, you can chain the Camille stun into the Galio taunt, the Galio knockout, Camille. You have so many tools for both of those champions to gank in the mid lane, especially on Fuji, who's very notoriously, you know, a very aggressive mid laner. So seeing it there is not terribly surprising to see, and definitely good on No Excuse for capitalizing on lots of Fuji's aggression, trying to go forward.
Now, I gotta be honest, the one thing... Oh, wait, hold on. This could be a fight here before I get going.
You're gonna see the hook coming on back, but he tries the flash, but gets flayed back into the bandage toss. The Braum knockup comes through, Etheric slides in, takes the single tap. Goose Daddy's here, though. Doesn't find the stun in Etheric because he flashes away from him. Here comes the Galio ultimate. Goose Daddy keeps looking. There's Steve, tries to find Daydreams as he gets flayed back. Doesn't have the ability to get in to try to make some more fights happen in the back here. Teach is trying to look for some Etheric, but it's not going to happen. They're going to turn in. Freshberg comes in. Goose Daddy's going to go down. Etheric is just taking no damage in these fights. Going to get the hook down on No Excuse now. Etheric slides in. Double tap kill comes through. And that's going to be No Excuse going down. We see another teleport getting channeled, but they are not going to follow through with it.
Now, as we see this first tower go down in White Lotus's favor, what I was actually just about to say before that fight happened is Schism has all the tools to make a 5-man bot lane gank happen.
They're looking for more here. Taunts down on Fuji. There comes that. Fuji's going to get himself out of there.
But, funny enough, we see White Lotus actually commit earlier, and because of that quick kill they got on Braum, having that man advantage, and just kept bringing people bot, able to pump that numbers advantage continually bot. They're able to just kind of out manpower, out burst, out tank, out everything the Schism lineup there. And it's kind of a shame because as I was saying Schism should go, I just kind of saw it happening, and I was hoping that we wouldn't see that Braum die that early. I know there's plenty of times where I've tried to ward or I've tried to walk and been punished by an Amumu, usually Canadian champs to be honest, but just an Amumu in that tribe rush. But you know, it's possible we see Echo's TP come up again eventually. We have the Galio TP, we have the Galio ult coming up eventually, and Camille, we can see another kind of 5-man rotation. But it's something you would have expected Schism to do a lot earlier. But instead, having the perfect summoners and the perfect comp, they just almost decide not to for so long that White Lotus says, oh wait, that's a good idea, we should do it instead. Cards really playing in their favor right now as we see what Lotus pulling ahead
Freshberg getting himself pretty comfortable now as they swap down to the bot lane. Has the Abyssal Mask finished to turn down a lot of that echo damage. Looking at Stevenator here. Fuji's around, gets taunted up. Looking for no excuse there. Doesn't find the shuriken flip in time as no excuse. Hook shots out. Fuji gets the Thresh Lantern on his way out of there. Excuse tries to get in on him. Daedreams finds the hook on no excuse. Not going to ride in on it.
And this would be a bit more of an interesting fight. Victor is stranded bot without that TP, and Ezreal is kind of hovering that top side available to fight. I'm surprised they didn't try to go, although there is that roughly 2k gold lead for White Lotus, you know, only 400 of it is on that Victor in a lead, but still having that one less burst AoE damage team fighter would have really helped them out there.
Look at that damage coming out from Steven right there, just half healthing Fuji pretty quickly without really much of a response. We're spending a lot of mana for a Kali who has a lot of built-in sustain into her kit, as well as the Gunblade for healing it. It shows really hard in that matchup what happens when you don't overcome it. Oh, Etheric sliding in on Tej. The double tap's going through. He's going to get hooked up, but there's the Braum ultimate. Lucian a bit trying to lock him up. No excuse trying to get on top of Etheric. The Ezreal ultimate comes through. No excuse doesn't have the damage to take out Etheric, and Kairos going to find the kill on him. And when the hook comes in on Steve now, he gets played for. But that's a 4-man taunt, but there's no follow-up damage, so he's going to go down next. And Etheric finds another kill. Freshberger chasing down Goose. Goose is manless. And the Q and the auto. He's down. And White Lotus is going to pick up a 4 for nothing here.
And this is just really one of those breakdown in team goals, in my opinion. You would expect a team goal for Schism, and I just talked about earlier, with all those sums, with all that movement, you know, Echo can jump over walls, Camille can jump over walls, Galio can ult, Braum can jump over walls with assist, Ezreal can jump over walls. Everybody has so much mobility in their kits. You'd expect them to try to have set up 5-mans, 4-mans around the map earlier, but they waited so long that they kind of played into, you know, White Lotus's almost ideal matchup, which is, you know, you've seen it almost any game they play. Get one of their 2 carries, Fuji or Ethereal, ahead. Fresh is a good enough top where he just kind of sits there, waits, and eventually he pulls through even and just has, you know, enough macro-micro knowledge to be able to just get himself through some rough spots. And then White Lotus just starts taking over these games from team fights and from just superior macro positioning. So I feel like Schism's hopes are starting to get dashed a little bit as they're kind of playing into White Lotus's kind of not only team goals with getting that Lucian ahead supremely and getting that Akali few kills, but also just their team goals as players and what they want to do themselves.
True, this really is the well-oiled machine of White Lotus. You have the engage of Kairos and Kairos Daydreams running the engage. You have Fuji and Etheric running the carry, and you have Freshberger, you know, doing his job. This team is always. This is just a very standard setup for White Lotus, and when it works for them and they establish a lead, they just run with it, and it happens. I mean, it happens all too often. Of course, this is the #1 seeded team, and this is the kind of win that we expect from them. Even if we see, and we've seen numerous games where this team has, you know, they've fallen behind. They've gone as badly as 0-7 in kills early. But eventually it comes to the point where these players come together, and the same thing keeps happening for White Lotus. We just see Freshberger dies over and over again, and then he brings it back up. We see the hook coming on backpack. He's going... Lucian is going to fly through and do about 6 total damage to Stevenator. Oh, the hook comes through on the Echo W. Goose Daddy has the ult out immediately, but Fuji's going to make the chase and gets the kill. And they're looking for more. The immovable ultimate comes down on the Tej, and he has nowhere to go. And that's going to be looking at the 4-man taunt and the flash away from Stevenator. And, woo, White Lotus is running with it right now.
They're certainly still
looking
running.
For more. I want to give Stevenator a medal for all these amazing 4-man taunts. It's just unfortunate that every 4-man taunt he's landed has had nobody around him to help with the damage.
Yeah, it's really just it's time and it's decision making. You see them all. A lot of these Schism players are making big plays, but there's no team there, and that's kind of the difference in my mind in these 2 teams with their style. Schism players, especially in this iteration we've seen in the past, all of them are very good playmakers. They're all good at setting up things for themselves or between 2 or 3 players. but it's so ingrained in them that we'll see it a few times there. Earlier in the game, Stevenator flashing in on that Akali even though he was destined to die and couldn't kill her there, landing a 4-man flat, taunt costing him his life where it's possible his teammate can get out anyway. And just a few of these fights as well. They're making plays without being able to follow through on them just because they can. Whereas opposed to White Lotus, you know, Kairos, a shot caller, and honestly a very good one at that, will go in when he knows his team's there. Daydream's very good hook accuracy, very good Q accuracy on a bunch of these support champs. Knows when to go in when Ethereal's there. And this team just knows how to play around each other so well that it's almost just terrifying that if you're alone or even if you're one man down, you can expect White Lotus to find a way to get a decent engage off on you.
Freshburger finding Goose by Notice. They're dropping everything they can. The E from the Camille, the ultimate comes through, drops the Chaos Storm, trying to find a return cone to Goose Daddy, but he's going to ult back, and they're going to find the kill on the Freshburger. They dump 2 ultimates for him, but they find the kill they wanted.
And just a TP top from Ezreal. I'm assuming that they're missing a skill shot. Oof. They're gonna go for the turret, but I don't even know what kind of call to call that interesting or what have you, because there's nothing they get from that TP. It's a burn 6-minute cooldown where they're just gonna have to wait. They're backing now. Maybe just to pull the rest of White Lotus top because they're scared of what they're doing off the map, but you know, the vision is completely in White Lotus's favor. The gold is the kills are.
He's hunting, but he's got 3 Braum stacks on him. He's stunned up. The Q comes out. Here comes the Ezreal ultimate. Doesn't find the kill. The knockup comes from Backpack. And they gotta get out of there.
Almost a kill.
Almost finding a solo kill there.
Yeah, both players actually, and they both just barely got out. As I was saying with Vision, you know, that entire bottom side, I don't think you can go anywhere in the jungle without White Lotus having a pretty good idea of where you are in it. And yet this Schism vision is just kind of steadily getting cleared out by these White Lotus players as they have so much map advantage with these turrets that are down. They can kind of go where they please, where Schism has to be very careful where they step, knowing they can't really encroach on the enemy jungle. But even their own now, they've been pushed in for so long, they should almost expect all these wards to be here.
Really giving them a lot of problems for the... It's really not giving them what they want here for their composition. We're going to find a hook from Daydreams on a Backpack. Getting it flayed back, he jumps back to the team.
And the interesting thing to note here is the Schism comp. Or hold on, see this fight here real quick. More a scuffle than anything, I guess. But the Schism comp does have this ideal team fight that works out so well. And you know, team ideals rarely ever work out, but you have, you know, a Galio 5-man ult into the 5-man Echo stun, Camille assassinates a target, Echo assassinates another carry, and then Ezreal's just kind of, you know, gunslinger shooting on the side. Braum knocks up the stranded people.
Goose trying to do what he can, finds a stun on the Fresh Burgers. He actually is going to get out of there.
Good cancel TP there. But, you know, we're not seeing that ideal team fight or anything close to it, in my opinion. We haven't seen any of these pieces come together for Schism that, you know, you can just look at those 5 champs and say, here's what they want to do. It's so easy to tell. But it's just, it's not happening. I don't know if they're scared of the gold lead. I don't know if they're scared of the players. Or I don't know if they just don't know what they're supposed to be doing. But it's almost...
Stevenator finds Daydreams there. Looks for the Braum ultimate on the back. Daydreams getting a heal from Ethereal. He's trying to stay in the back here. Dives out the Ezreal ultimate. They're trying to find the exhaust on the Backpack. Etheric's on the back end here trying to fight Tej, and he's stunned up, and it's just enough to find the kill there. Everyone else getting locked up on the side of White Lotus, and they have to leave this fight. The Ignite coming through several members of SKZ, but they've finally taken down the 6-0 Etheric.
I believe the thing we can all take away from that is if anybody wants to see anything happen, type it in chat, and I'll criticize a team for not doing it, because then someone just does it. I believe that's the 2nd or 3rd time this game I've looked at one of the teams and said, you know, why aren't you doing this? And then it pretty much happens almost immediately. So let me make sure no one in chat wants anything real quick from me. Oh, and real quick, just one thing in chat. I am still on Schism. I actually am still a sub. I'm moral support. I give them water. I'm like, you know that guy on the side of the guys, you know that guy on the side of the track meets where like they have like the table with the water cups and stuff. Like as you run by, the guy like helps out make sure everyone's okay.
Yeah.
I'm that for Schism. I like to think.
Call that the water boy.
H2O Technician.
Alright. Goose Daddy is going to find a little bit of slow on Fresh Burger. I keep him away there. 2v2 stays safe.
A little bit scary for Teach. He'll just see him coming now. This could be his death.
Ooh, he's going to flash away from that Thresh hook.
And a little rough, but with that Lucian ulti burned, it's possible they could look for a fight here now.
Backpack walks in, gets hooked, and he's dead. We're going to see Steven here find the taunt solo onto Daydreams there. Fuji sliding in. Trying to make something has to get himself out of there. Well, Kairos gets in there, finds the Umobu ultimate, and they flash in after it. Ease goes down. No excuse trying to run the ultimate down on Fuji. Not going to be enough. Daydreams on the side, trying to lock up Goose Daddy, who can't even find a kill on the Thresh. Tries to flash, finds the killing once, but it's not enough in time. Fresh Burger on a double kill here. And White Lotus is going to storm through the Schism base off the back of a 5-for-1.
Alright, one word to describe that team fight. You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can pick a word. I have a word.
I got oof. I'm just gonna go with oof.
Okay, you can go with oof. I'm gonna go with
Yeah, that's you know, I respect that. Shorter and sweeter and even more to the point. It's it certainly is it's a little scary. White Lotus just, you know, we talked about them being able to just secure a lead from behind from before, but just 7.5k gold lead, 2 air drakes will help out that macro movement, even a little bit of that team fight movement with that in combat movement speed as well. And just, you know, short of a Baron steal and a few cheeky team fights, I'm not really sure Schism's way back into it in this game.
yeah, thinking about Schism's avenue to get back into this game is rough.
Hurts.
I mean, looking at the numbers, looking at where we see teams that play against White Lotus to be, maybe just not discounting this Baron that's about to happen. I've seen teams, you know, be further ahead behind White Lotus. You know, a 7k gold deficit at 28 minutes. Wow, it sounds pretty bad. You know, we've seen White Lotus be, you know, 12, 13k ahead of teams. Oh no, so he's gonna slide in here, try to make a battle with Kairos, and Kairos is gonna find the Baron at the end of the day. The Camille ultimate trying to come through to lock somebody in there, but there's the 4-mana Mumu ultimate. Fresh Burger finds the damage, but there's gonna be some return damage. Goose finds the kill on the Fuji, but it's not gonna make the difference in the end. And I think White Lotus might bring it home here.
And for all you at home, White Lotus is something really smart, and I need you all to do this in solo queue, because sometimes I see you in solo queue. When the enemy jungler jumps in the Baron pit and there's like 2-3k health left on the Baron, you saw how White Lotus stopped hitting it.
Yeah.
So Zeus had nothing to do, because he has to fight back or he'll just die smacking Baron. And instead he has to burn smite early, which lets Kairos kind of smite it away for free. And it leads to, as we're seeing, just a clean game 1 victory for the side of White Lotus.
And there it is. That's going to be game 1, going to White Lotus. And, pretty convincing game. I mean, you can look at the numbers, and they tell some pretty telling stories. If they're going to end that game 10-1-8, Etheric being in 19 of the 20 kills says a lot. I think that's definitely a major one. Kairos, of course, being in 75% of them at 2-0-13. So, really, I mean, Daydreams even had 16 out of 20 kills. Just the absolute, you know, kill participation across the board on this team is so telling of what the White Lotus machine really looks like. It's, you know, it really shows.
Definitely. And just a few things to note. Kairos, a lot of good engages there, even diving under turrets at some point. 0 deaths, big boy. Even managing to out-damage the jungle Camille by a clean 3k damage. Jeez. Ethereal. So Akali, you normally think of Akali as this big damage dealer. Only deals 13k damage, Victor dealing 19, and Etheric doing 30. So people you fear might not always be as scary as they are. That Akali pick. The most damage from Schism was almost tied. Echo at 16, and Galio dealing the most at 17.8. Ezreal only sitting at 12. So when your enemy ADC does 2.5 times as much damage as you, is it ban Lucian? Question mark. because Ethereal is good at so many ADCs. I'm not really sure, but it'll be interesting. And just a quick fan shout out, if I may, Skyson.
Yeah.
Dylan, big boy, big team Schism. So there is a Schism ABL team. He did play on this team for a while. He does play on that team. Big Schism supporter. I see a command in here from him. Bet White Lotus all, and the bot did recognize it, so it wasn't a bait. He has bet against his own team with every point he has. So on that note, don't forget to bet. Bet on Schism if you're ballsy and want that extra money. Bet smart like Dylan if you really believe in him and those White Lotus members. And I believe we'll get into this game 2 in just a moment, unless you have anything to close us out here.
Nope, just go ahead and do a break. Catch you guys for game 2. And we are back. Schism White Lotus. Game 2. We're looking at a White Lotus 1-0. Very convincing win going into game 1. Looking to see if pick ban changes a little bit for these teams. Seeing if Schism has a different plan going forward. Maybe difficult ideas. Of course, they're on the different side now. So they're going to have first pick advantage. Not going to have last pick going over to White Lotus. We'll see what goes through. Tom Kench
Okay.
ban.
Tom Kench prio ban. So I'm assuming so that can tell us a few things. To be honest, I think that genuinely tells us we're gonna see roughly the same bans we saw last game. Maybe just a little bit more careful banning from White Lotus as they don't have that prio pick anymore. But,
Yeah, let's say
sorry.
that makes the Urgot ban more interesting to not give it over to the first pick here. But we are going to see the Lucian come out from SKZ. They're definitely going to give that the respect ban. They don't want to see Etheric pop off on that.
Now, I'm going to give you some options. This is what I genuinely believe will be left up. We'll probably see Victor left up. We'll probably see a lot of these scaling
Nope.
If they ban Aatrox, I don't even know what they're going to ban anymore. Why, when you have first pick, we basically just prove that Victor does well even when he gets shut down. Good lord.
Yeah, I think ideally we'll see the Aatrox ban here. I don't think they want to see Goose playing that. They have something else in mind. I don't know if... Oh yeah, well no, they have the Kindred. I don't know what priority ban they're looking at here. Oh, they're going to go with the Zillion. Oh, okay. They're going to hand Goose the Aatrox. Maybe they have another counter in mind.
I would just take it. Aatrox is such a good team fighter. Is such a good lane trader. Is good at sustaining. Good at tank. And you know what's better than Aatrox? Warwick.
Hovering Warwick's pretty good.
Mean? Don't do it.
Don't do
it.
Okay. Nocturne's good.
Nocturne is very good.
Handing over Aatrox is less good than Nocturne, I would say. Fresh will take that all day. I don't even think that's a question. He's going to put that right on his champion icon and click that, lock in, and there it is. And I think Kairos may just go with the Amumu again.
They may try to prio pick this bot lane. The one thing I'm interested in is if we leave Tom Kench open, does Daydreams want the Thresh over the Tom Kench? Because we've seen him be very stylish on that Thresh to the point where I've seen him just Ethereal is almost like Daydream's son, as he will take the hook and scoop up the food that is the enemy ADC and just kind of shove it down his throat like a baby bird and make him eat it.
I mean, Daydream's Thresh is definitely a beast of its own, and I think seeing that as, Xayah Rakan. I would say I'd be interested to see if Backpack's going to go for the Rakan here. We saw him pull the Rakan out 3 games against Purple Cobras in their set and had a pretty high amount of success on it. So seeing Tej go with the Xayah, I don't think we've seen these two play Xayah Rakan yet. I know we've seen a bunch of Backpacks Rakan, but seeing Tej on the Xayah I think is new. But we are going to see the Alistar come out for Fuji, not even opting for the Thresh here. Just wanting to get that ability to get people out of the scene of the crime. So we are going to see the mid lanes both open here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if we see ADC bans, I would say.
I think that the smart thing here is to ban Kai'Sa. I think taking Kai'Sa away from Etheric is going to be necessary.
I've played a lot of games with Ethereal, played a lot of in-house with them. I don't think I've seen his Trist yet. I've probably played about 20 games with the boy now. I've seen his Kai'Sa, his... have we seen Tristana in this GXPC?
He has played Tristana. He has 2 or 3 games on Tristana. Did very well.
Okay.
I think that banning Jhin over Trist may have been...
Yeah, that would have been my... definitely my choice, or maybe some form of mid laner. Maybe, that Katarina that Fuji sometimes just decides to win on.
Or Sivir.
Sivir, yeah. You know what's really good for Rakan to pick into? An ADC with a spell shield and a jungler with an ult that doesn't let you move. I believe that's really good for Rakan. What is your opinion on that, Skyson?
See, the interesting thing about Rakan is you have the ability to... solo as Rakan, you can deal with the Sivir spell shield on your engage if you go for the WR. Because if you W over to Sivir with the R will pop her spell shield and the W can still knock her up. So you can get some mileage out of it. Of course, you have the ability to respond with running away very fast to get out of the W or flashing. But I think it's a capable pick for the pair, and I think that another important thing about Xayah Rakan is their lane power. But I think the problem with that is you have to deal with the Alistar in lane, who is just a very threatening force in lane at all times, even for something like Rakan to happen here. But the Aurelia, are you going to come through for Fuji to answer the Aurelia of Steven here? So that's, no, that's going to be Aurelia on Goose and Swain for Steven here, because I just suddenly didn't see the Swain pick that I wasn't paying attention to. But we're going to see Swain Ahri in the mid lane. We're going to see Aurelia Aatrox in the top lane. Feel like that's not a matchup Goose is going to enjoy.
Tell me, okay, I was going to say, I saw a backpack with Xayah for a second. I sweat a little bit. Just, may I go first? Because...
Feel free.
I appreciate that. I love the solo queue strategy Schism has taken for this game, as... Again, I love to flash back to all our solo queue games, as we all probably have nightmares about those sometimes. Or just flashbacks whenever we get in queue again. Aurelia, you've seen, 3, 4, and any amount of death, really, Aurelia, as long as she has some gold carry games. You've seen Swain with a stacked ulti if he can get 2 scaling items done, just burst through a team. You've seen Xayahs who know how to use their ult well, just kind of dodge enemy damage and burst through. You've seen Nocturnes jump in and delete carries to win their team the game. And there's a Rakan on the team too, but the one thing that I fear, and I just want to, we'll get breaking the lanes in a minute, I'll hand it back over to you, is that while we see that very solo QE, they do have good interactions between them. Xayah Rakan, Swain with CC, Nocturne being able to jump in, and those long range stuns from Aurelia or long range pulls from Swain not being able to be seen because of the ulti. But the White Lotus formula, Fresh is on a top laner who, even if he gets behind, he does well on. Kairos is on an engaged jungler who can hold down people for his team. Fuji's on some kind of assassin or pseudo-assassin. Ethereal is in the game and not DC'd. and Daydreams has some form of CC.
Those are
That
all
is-
13 White Lotus conditions, yes.
It's the White Lotus formula. And really, when we break it down, it's just there's CC on White Lotus, and Ethereal's not DC'd and on an ADC. That's the true White Lotus formula. I expanded a little bit more to be nice, but that's how we've seen White Lotus win so many games. And it's just why do we let it happen so much? And I say we, I am a part of Schism, but I'd like to hand it back over to you just to now that I've vented.
I mean, you definitely see it, and I remember going all the way back to the interview that I had with Daydreams talking about White Lotus and them bringing out new plans for the playoffs, and I'm just like, we talked so much about the well-oiled machine of White Lotus, and I mean, here we are, the same idea: CC jungler, CC support, assassin mid laner, and then scaling carry on Etheric if he doesn't want to play Lucian, and then Burger doing Burger things. And specifically this game, it's interesting to see if, I don't know, like I look at the side of Schism here, and they have the damage. Swain is a very bulky champion who's able to survive in long-standing fights. But the problem I see here, where you're looking at this very mobile Ahri, the Sivir who can get around in fights, once Kairos hits R, I feel like the Schism comp just kind of falls apart. And that is a problem. Guys, they don't, the main bulk of their team is on Swain. And I think that they won't have I don't think they'll have the gas to last through the duration of these team fights. That the Amumu lockdown, the Alistar combos, even the Ahri charms, I don't think they'll be able to catch up with Etheric and make anything happen. But we're going to see what Schism tries to bring together here, see if they can bring it to a 1-1, or if we see 2-0 White Lotus, we're going to head over to a commercial break, and then we'll be right back for Game 2.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
And we are here, White Lotus versus Schism Esports Game 2. Score sitting at 1-0 White Lotus, looking to take it to 2-0. Schism looking to fight back, bring it to 1-1. See if anything fancy happens in this jungle. We see pings going down. Looks like we're going to see the same old formation. No funny business going down here.
I see summoner spells that I'm used to. Actually, Skyson, you know things, and I to be honest, I really only know mid and support things. I try to know top. But I've been playing since season 2 and haven't taken Smite yet, and I can't see SO ADCs out of the question. Is lethal tempo Xayah the correct move? Because I have seen a few fleet. And I've seen a few lethal.
I think lethal versus fleet is a very playstyle oriented thing. I mean, even versus press. I think that those 3 keystones in general for AD carries shifts a little bit depending on your playstyle. You can sort of adapt to one more than the other. But I think of AD carries that go for lethal tempo, I think that you see it more on Xayah than some other ones. Because you get the ability, mainly off of her W, I think the clean cuts, is when you activate that and it taps an enemy and you hit them with an auto attack, you get a burst of move speed. So you get the attack speed from W, you get the move speed from W, and it combos up with the lethal tempo attack speed, and it gives Xayah just, a substantial burst of damage. And then, you pick up Storm Razor on her as well, so you get more move speed to go in. So you just end up being a very, very fast Xayah who's also rushing people down after that one item spike, and it makes it a lot stronger on her than I think most other champions you'll see with the tempo on. So I think that it's a relatively popular pickup on the Xayah. And I mean, you see it right there. And of course, it synergizes with the W as well, because every auto attack you throw with Xayah with the W active, it throws an extra feather. So the more DPS you're putting out off your auto attacks, the more often you're auto attacking, the more damage you get out of the clean cut phase. So it really helps her out there. Fuji kind of landing a point blank charm on Stevenator here, getting a lot of damage on the trade down. Fuji looking for something. I think he was looking for a Q there to find the Ignite.
Now, we've seen a lot of damage go down in mid and bot. Top is full health bars, but, it's really just waiting for somebody to just decide to try it on the other person. Where do you think this first blood is going to end up being?
I think we can see something in the mid lane here. I think either if it's going to be Fuji killing Steve because you can see how far up he's playing, or if we see No Excuse trying to capitalize on this Fuji over aggression that we see so very often. I mean, we saw it last game. We saw Fuji playing aggressive, No Excuse finally finds him, and then ganks him. And if we see that happen, then that'll be what it is. And thank you to 30 Esports for the 2,500-bit cheer. You are awesome, and we appreciate it. That is an incredible donation.
And
Daydream's finding the combo on the... Oh, nice side step from Daydream to get out of that Rakondo. You find a little bit of return damage off the feathers.
Interesting thing to know is Kairos got very... Good lord from the damage there, top lane. Kairos got starved there. That entire top side of that jungle, or that top right side, got completely taken by No Excuse. So Kairos is going to have to kind of find a way around to get some more CS here.
Fuji getting pulled into that. I have the Vision. Empire Vision, something about Swain. Empire's Vision. Pulled in for that damage return. Even though he found the charm in the queue, it still ended up on the pretty bad end of that trade.
That would be Vision of Empires. But again, just I believe you got it as well. You're getting certainly a lot better with these ability names.
I agree. Pointless stuff. We're going to look for a little more here. Let's see. There's small leads. I mean, the lead on No Excuse over Kairos here definitely is showing you're rushing to that 6 on Nocturne to get that power spike. Trying to find some powerful early ganks there. We've seen a lot of power coming out of early Nocturne ganks, especially in these lanes where they're already trading down a lot of damage. So you have Fuji sitting as he was, fighting out Stevenator in this mid lane. It gets to the point where Fuji gets pretty low. No Excuse can just kind of slide in on this Nocturne and make something happen.
And based on pathing, I have to wonder. No Excuse might believe that Kairos verticaled him as well, as this is the first time he's actually heading into that blue side jungle. So it's possible he could have gotten a lot bigger of a CS lead if he went to take the risk and check it a little earlier, since they may actually meet up in this jungle, but Kairos just didn't really expect it, so he is actually just a leg behind.
You see No Excuse catching up that ward there, so he gets a little better idea of where Kairos is.
And again,
last
Kairos...
time integration. Goose finding the return stun on the burger.
Just chip damage everywhere. There hasn't, except for mid lane, that one very early fight bot and really just mid lane as they can, or I can really try to burst through that Swain. It's really just going to be a lot of chip damage fights, a lot of smaller fights leading to a crescendo of a big one where, Aurelia and Aatrox both have tools to go in, Swain and Ahri have tools to go in. Sivir can dodge it out, but we saw there both bot lanes have tools to go in as well.
Dude, the heal come out for Etheric as he turns around. The stun comes through, ooh, with a Boomerang Blade not quite landing off of Etheric there. But they are going to burn Etheric's heal there, as well as the Ignite coming out from Daydreams. Daydream's sitting pretty bulky here if he looks for something, and Backpack very low on mana. I don't think he has enough for any of his spells at the moment.
I believe if Backpack can afford one W, though, a W Ignite would actually...
Oh, the flash from Daydreams! But the flash heal comes out from Tej, an immediate response. Oh, Fuji goes in! The ult comes out to stop the healing, and Steven Air is going to go down very quickly. Fuji finding that instant kill off the back there. So, called it. First blood's going to go to mid.
And so I honestly would have thought Amumu on a very immobile mid laner, like going in on that immobile Swain, would have came in for that ganking first blood, but instead a solo kill is going to lead to a nice invade here.
Kairos smutting away the red buff. There's Fuji. Tries to flash towards the blast cone, but direct camera doesn't think we need to see it.
He did get over. So spoiler alert. It appears that we will see no excuse safe, although Kairos getting a little bit of an advantage back, able to smite away that red buff. So he will clear a little quicker, and he will have that little bit of experience advantage. Or a little bit experience catch up, I should say, as we do see excuse already at level 6, where Kairos is still sitting at 5.
Across the PC, sudden a little bit of a CS lead over Goose. Do see down 3 CS, but up, of course, the first blood gold on Fuji. And despite the aggression, Etheric staying Russell leading with Teach. So, you know, his lane's looking still pretty even for both of these teams. Kairos trying to get in here. Walks in flat. Oh no, he smites it down to like 8 health, and it wasn't enough. No excuse, gonna find the dragon. Daydreams comes in there, trying to find Tej. Level 6 Nocturne coming through. Kairos gonna find the kill on Tej. They try to turn around and find Amumu. It's not gonna happen. The flash charm comes out of Fuji. Finds Steven Air as he goes for the flash. Daydreams looking for his skills to come off cooldown at this point. Pulls in Amumu. The Vision of Empire doesn't do the damage to get him out of there, but the stun comes through. The Q comes through on Fuji. The knock comes down on Daydreams. Looking for more. The charm's gonna miss on Fuji. Auto attack 1, auto attack 2, and that's gonna be the kill. Going down.
So, I just want to break down the fight a bit, because we saw a few things. We saw no excuse int, dives into 4 members following an Amumu with Aftershock, who, although he did pop it earlier so it was on cooldown, he is just generally tanky. He's an Amumu. He gets that reduced damage from autos, and he does just... He's an Amumu surrounded by 3 other people. It's going to be tough to kill him when you're a squishier character like Nocturne. At the same time, we saw Stevenator turn around for a little bit. Ooh, decent damage here.
Oh! Trying to wait out that Aatrox ultimate. Oh, he finds the return kill. Freshburger trying to find a knockout. No excuse. Flashed it, but the resurrection comes up. But Kairos is here.
Impatience at its finest, I'd say.
He's gonna get red spited. He's gonna get sucked in, but Kairos is here. Kairos is gonna walk up on him, and no excuse. Has nothing to do about it. He's gonna go down right afterwards.
Alright, so 2 things to break down. So after that, back to the dragon fight. Stevenator turns around, because, you know, he probably wasn't really gonna get out. Don't do it to me. I don't want to explain 3 things. Thank you. Turns around for the E, gets the pull off on Kairos, gets the Vision of Empires, and you saw him throw the Q. The Q actually missed. And it could have gotten through, but he was just a little short. So if he walked back and committed, he could have got the kill. But he was caught in that kind of weird middle ground where it was like, I can definitely get the kill and still get out. Instead of trying to just pick one, waiting for the Mumu to possibly leave, then Eing the Ahri so she couldn't get any closer, slowing the Ahri or the Alistar. So instead he kind of gives up his life for nothing because he tried to pick that middle ground. At the same point, top lane, Aurelia Goose trying to wait out Fresh's ulti.
Fuji goes for the stopwatch. Fuji's trying to get away there. Goose Daddy, in the meantime, he's gonna get flashed on by Freshburger, and Freshburger is just gonna cut him down. Fuji in the middle of no excuses. Steven here, though, tries to throw the Q, doesn't have any move speed, gets pulled in, and that's gonna be shutdown gold going into no excuse.
There we go. And a really quick breakdown of that top fight, because I have a feeling bot lane's gonna do some stuff before I can talk. Let's wait here to see if they will. Alright. Goose trying to wait out Fresh's ult, kills himself because he is afraid to pop it too early, and then no excuse does the exact opposite.
That guy goes for the ultimate there. He's gonna get knocked back by Daydreams, and they're gonna walk away.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we saw no excuse do the opposite, so 2 fights go top lane. Where Aatrox was feared, he probably need to wait another second and a half. Fresh was not going to take any damage, was on probably 50 health, and he says, screw it, and slaps him. And that means that Aatrox heals to half of his maximum health. Which is just, you know, the opposite of what you want to do to an Aatrox when you're Nocturne, you've already used all your tools. So, you know, kind of opposite problems from some of these Schism players, where, you know, you see one thing go wrong, and you say, I'm going to do the exact opposite. And it's just, you know, both ideas were wrong because they were both just in the wrong order.
Oh my god. Goose is dead.
Goose gets
That's
out.
a lot of damage.
I think Goose gets out if he doesn't Q in again, because there's no burn damage, and he walks the turret. I think Aatrox's Q cooldown is long enough. I would love to check. Yeah, it's 10.8 seconds. I would believe that he would have gotten out if he just walked towards turret. Is Aatrox, it does have his ult up. There's a chance you can kind of make another cheeky play with your ult and some Qs to dodge out his Q. But instead, just tries to get the healing, and it doesn't work there for him. And I gotta say, a lot of the, we have one dragon on the side of Schism, but just a lot of the same from last game. Schism trying to get an early lead, and it just doesn't work this time. But instead, White Lotus just pulls the reins in even earlier and says, this is our game now, and just sets up these better macro plays, these better dives, and objectively just some better champs and matchups where they can abuse them.
That's definitely what they're looking for here, and after they're going to take that first tower, they're looking to collapse here. We're just going to see Fresh Burgers just going to push into this top lane, and I don't think Goose has an answer for him at this point.
Yeah, short of PayPal or Venmo, I'm not really sure that Goose has any tools to stop him.
Oh, my lord, Fresh Burger. Oh, but then we see No Excuse come through. Tries to find them with Goose. He's going to slide in with the Q, but the Aatrox Resurrection is up. No Excuse chasing him down on the Dust Trail. He's actually going to miss out some skills. Vision of Upright as the dodge tries to look for Goose there. Goose going to slip and slide around and actually finds a shutdown gold. Putting a nice amount of money in his pocket, but that's still going to be 2 ultimates getting spent for your lonely Aatrox main.
Not only 2 ultimates, that does still leave a 2k gold lead for the side of White Lotus, as they did also have that first turret along with leading in 6 kills. So just definitely a good play on the side of Schism, but we'll need a couple more to really try to rein it back into a much more even game.
Ooh, we see the ultimate come through. They're looking for the knockout. That Feathers come through, and Etheric's actually going to go down there. That Xayah Rakan burst is definitely going to be major on their end. Carlos is hunting for No Excuse here. Ooh, the bandage just narrowly missing, but Daydreams is here now. No Excuse has to find a way out. W comes through for Daydreams, and the stun's going to follow. Spell Shield's up. Walks it out, finds the stun, or finds the fear. Gyros is gonna stand on him to death.
One bandage dodge might have meant he's out, but instead, and kind of an oof. You'd really hope to see him try to walk into the Amumu actually and try to donate that gold over to Kairos. As a fed Amumu can be scary, but a fed Ahri gets to the point where she can look at probably short of Aurelia and Swain, she could probably just look at Nocturne, Xayah, and Rakan, and then they'll die.
Mm-hmm.
Hit one charm. You've all felt it. You get hit by one charm by Ahri, you say, you know what, I'll be fine, and then all of a sudden your screen turned gray, and you wonder why you're in colorblind.
Sometimes not even. Sometimes it's the Ahri is so far ahead that Ahri misses all of her skill shots, and you die to the stuff that she doesn't have to aim because she moved towards you.
Yeah, feels Zoe, man.
The touch you assassin.
Yeah, definitely feels Zoe, man, when Ahri can get that ahead. Or old Zoe, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But, an Infernal Drake does kind of bode something for Schism. There is a chance. There isn't another, a Water Drake coming up next isn't going to be too huge for fighting.
Teach! Ooh, Flash coming out from Etheric. Almost taking a cheeky solo kill there.
And on the side of Tej, because a fed Xayah can help. But,
Nice.
Xayah, scaling AD carry, Swain, scaling mid, Aurelia, objectively scaling top. I think she's scaling top. Really want this. Yeah. Well, it's just, it kind of hurts because, Aurelia can kill you early, mid, and late game. So, usually when you think of a scaler, you think of kind of that mid-late game damage, but Aurelia just kind of does it all. So, good thing they took away that 5 movement speed. Hashtag Riot Balance Team.
Ooh, Freshberg looking for Stevenator there. The charm's actually going to miss, but they're going to find the kill anyway. Stevenator is going to go down. Freshberg is going to find another kill. We're seeing Backpack Tisha top down the spot lane, but we do see Daydreams is on his way down. Gonna get spotted out by 3.5 wards in that bush.
Funny enough, bot lane is perfectly even, basically. There's probably a lead about 50 gold one way or the other, so I'd say perfectly even. A fight here is really just decided by whoever plays.
Ooh, the combo comes out for Backpack. They try to return immediately. The feathers fly onto Etheric. He spell shields the snare. Is it enough? He finds the boomerang blade and finds the kill, though. Tej is going to go down to the duo there. Daydream's looking for a little more, but it's not going to happen. Oh, we see the TP from Swain. But they're going to turn around and kill Backpack off the back of this. But Swain is here. I don't know if they're going to make happen, but Nocturne's coming next. Nocturne's going to find the kill onto Alistair. But they're trying to make something else happen here, and that's way too much damage coming out from the Swain, and Etheric goes down next. And they're going to casually walk away from Fuji and Fresh.
And you got to be worried, you know, is that too many resources from the side of Schism? They give up a rift for it. You know, they're giving up a little bit of farm around the map. And just, you would have hoped to see the outplay from Schism, but Ethereal makes a really smart decision not spell shielding that Recon combo because it'll land either way with the ult and the W coming on you. It actually saves it for the feathers, dodging out a big portion of that damage in that route. So, you know, just a better decision making, I'd say, on the side of White Lotus's ADC. Better decision making on the side of Daydreams, knocking away Xayah so that initial engage doesn't work, and just, you know, kind of going wrong, I'd say, on every side of the map.
Steven there doing a nice little dance there to dodge out of the Aatrox spells pretty well. Put a decent amount of return damage on him, showing that he can handle him on the side push.
And you know, there's not really much else to talk about. Warding is average, I gotta be honest. Not really leaning one way or the other. Both teams kind of deciding to take a break from the intense warding battle of last game and just kind of letting it settle. But it's really just all these kills and all these moment-to-moment scraps.
Freshburger. Oh my lord, this damage. Make it stop. Ooh, there comes no excuse. The immediate answer to the greedy tower dive from Freshburger, and they're most likely going to find this kill very quickly. Flashes, but they find the Dustbringer proc. Or the red buff. One of those two things killed him.
That's the Swain auto. That's the feels bad when you know the jungler's burn damage is good. The Swain auto's hoping for the kill, and it's that little red buff proc at the end that decides to take it instead. But they do find the kill, so it will help even this gold out a little more as we're back to just a 2k lead.
Yeah, evening things out.
Actually, slight improvements from Schism, I'd have to say. You know, they did get a dragon, and you know, not to be too mean to them, I give them a little bit of credit now. They got a dragon. They got a turret. It's not 4 turrets to 0 or even more to 0 anymore this early. They're keeping it within 2k gold. They're not really getting singled out. They're not really getting too hard soloed or letting it snowball too much. And I do gotta be honest, I think although their team fight is a little scuffed because of that Amumu engage, and that Amumu ulti, that there is still a chance that they can just overpower with these scaling, you know, solo carry-esque champs in some of these team fights. So hopefully we'll see this game go on a while, and Schism might be able to make some kind of comeback here later in the game.
Yeah, I definitely think they have the comp to do it, and I think especially if we're looking on the back of Tej and Backpack, Goose Daddy trying to make something happen there, disarms Freshburger as we see Noxie's coming back around. But yeah, I think that off the back of Tej here, it's going to be an interesting thing to see if Schism can pull it back, because I think a lot of eyes are going to be on Tej here to look to make things happen in these fights.
Now, there is going to be probably a forced play here soon, because Rift Herald is about 3/4 of the way through its life cycle. So, interesting ulti. You're probably going to expect... Oh god, Goose, don't do it.
Oh,
Goose. Some kind of forced fight.
There's no excuse again. I don't think you're allowed to look at the tower, but at the same time we see the charm go down on Backpack. He's not even able to throw anything out. Fuji just diving down on Tej. The feathers fly into Etheric, but it's not going to happen. They're going to find the kill. They do find the kill on Freshbird in the top lane. But in the meantime, it's a double kill for Etheric as he flashes away. Steven here flashes on top of Etheric to find the kill on his own. Steven in their center of 3 trying to maybe makes the explosion happen on Daydreams. Has the... Oh, there we go. The kill comes out onto Daydreams, but he's going to finally go down. Looking for more. No excuse trying to get down, but Kairos going to drop the ultimate. Fuji turning around, trying to find the kill on the Goose Daddy. He's going to get out of there. Long fights coming through. The Aurelia stun comes down. No excuse! They try to find the kill to Kairos! Kairos going to flash over the wall, but no excuse looking for Fuji now! He's going to actually turn and find the kill there. No excuse. Ooh, doesn't quite find the kill. He's speeding up towards Kairos, though. He's looking, but Kairos going to turn around. I don't think that's what he wants. No excuse, putting a ton of gold in his pocket off of that shutdown.
Now, getting a Nocturne ahead is definitely... Oh no.
Wait, who's
Oh, wait, let's wait here a moment to see what Fresh is going to do here if he can catch up. It looks like he is out. You know, Nocturne, you do want to get ahead. You do want to see all these kills. But I fear that you'd much rather have it on your Aurelia, on your Swain, on your Xayah. There's 3 other damage dealers that can do so much more, that can scale so much harder with that gold, in my opinion. That, you know, you do want to see Nocturne jump in, assassinate someone, get through. But, you know, Aurelia assassinates, Swain has very good burst, and Xayah can tear through tanks, has very good sustained damage. That's something you really want to Aatrox into Alistar. So now each of the other 3 damage dealers has an answer to some part of this White Lotus comp, I mean.
Goose. Where are you gonna go? He turns around. Backpack's there. Finds the double charm knockup. Actually gonna get Goose out of there. Very nice from Backpack.
And that'll certainly help, but, you know, one Earth Drake, White Lotus can, in my opinion, just decide to take a Baron. They are still ahead. You know, gold lead shrunk to about, you know, 1.8k, a little under 2k, but, you know, every 100 gold matters at this point. And yeah, as I was saying, they can just kind of decide to take Baron. Not really good vision control on the side of Schism, and they are going to back off, surprisingly, but, you know, it's theirs to take when they can find the opportunity if Schism isn't paying attention.
Steven Nader is going to get bandaged up. He's going to get dropped up. He pops the ultimate in the Hourglass. They're looking for some more. Here comes the Nocturne ultimate. The Silver ultimate's going to come through for the speed up. Steven Nader is living for a long time to get back on there. Onto Etheric, but he's going to survive in the back. The Moon ultimate comes through. The Demonic Ascension pops. Nobody goes down. Steven Nader is still heavily alive in this fight. No excuse can get. Not going to go down quite yet. The W and the auto attack's not enough to do it. Nobody dies in this fight. Goose is here. Not going to find the stun he's looking for. Oh my lord, this fight. Daydreams gets dragged back in. Minor Swain combo, nothing coming through. Just almost bodies everywhere.
It's one of those fights you really tense up during, because everyone's going to get so low, you don't know who's going to get popped first. And surprisingly, no one does, so Schism possibly reaching some kind of a turning point in their champs.
Ooh, Goose finds an ultimate on Fuji, gets charmed up though. Q comes out and actually finds a solo kill. Very nicely done. Fuji's going to go down here.
Yeah. Again, definitely...
Well.
So I believe I know what killed him, but I'm curious if you do. Because I only have an opinion, I'm not sure if I'm right at all.
I don't. I'm curious, and I'm interested, and I really want to watch Daydreams kill Goose here, and he gets cow punched, and that man is dead.
That mid lane fight, I think... This is interesting. I think Backpack took Scorch on Rakan. Because it's the only explanation I can think of for there being any semblance of burn damage on a support. Which, you know, especially because he went Coin, you wouldn't expect him to go Scorch, as the support item doesn't lead to any kind of an aggro lane.
And the interesting thing about going Scorch on him is that he's mainline Resolve, so he would have had the secondary sorcery specifically to grab Scorch and something else.
Definitely.
I feel like that's not the case.
Yeah, because he didn't have red buff after the fight. I don't think red buff wore out during the fight. It's in my opinion the only explanation for there being a burn damage.
Could have been a straight minion attack.
Yeah, that is certainly possible. There could have been a cannon minion somewhere that followed, but again, he was under turret, so it's just... Oh, good lord. So, who knows?
Either way, it was good.
He certainly got the he certainly got the kill at least.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the gold lead is now just a mere 200, 300 gold. Schism is definitely making their way back into this game. This is definitely what they were looking for. And now they have the power of this Xayah scaling up. Their comp is definitely online. Steven Nader is looking in form on this Swain. You saw how long he lasted in that team fight. He was the one that got engaged on. He got 4-man engaged on in that Swain and managed to keep himself alive long enough. He came back into that fight at full health, and people had to focus him out, and then he was absolutely dealing way too much damage to be dealt with in this lane. Steve is doing a great job on Swain this game.
And that's just really the power of Swain with an hourglass or with a stopwatch. Just being able to pop that ult and sit there, regain a lot of health back.
Oh my lord, no excuse. Ulting Freshburger is anything more iconic this game. The fear comes through, the ultimate's out, the res is coming in. He's trying to walk away, the Vision of Empire comes through, he's still Ooh, he flashes away from the demonic ascension pop. He's
It's like
just
both
trying
teams
to...
are trying to make moves here top lane.
Daydreams looking for Stevenator. Backpack doesn't quite make the ultimate come through, but he's going to land it eventually. Fuji gets out of there after being ignited down. Oh, no excuse, trying to flash away. Gets away from Fuji combo. Daydream is still looking, though. Finds the combo onto Stevenator. Stevenator might go down here. Stevenator flashes and turn on Fuji, but it's not enough. Fuji takes the return kill, and the Ari passive is going to heal him up there.
And meanwhile, mid lane,
Goose?
Goose apparently deciding to try to heal through turret shots. And he kind of does, to be honest, and it's possible the minions may just take this turret unless Sivir clears him out quick enough.
Which she did with one.
She does. It definitely is Sivir player. Able to just CS through it all. Yeah, let's talk about CS for a minute, as Sivir elite on Xayah is something you'd expect mid lane fairly even. The two lanes of note are Schism's mid. I'm sorry, real quick, let's wait for this fight.
Backpack looking for something. The Sivir ultimate comes through. The Backpack's going to get himself out of there. Very fast. Amumu's looking for something. Not going to find it. Goose is looking for the stun. Finds the ult. Misses the EA on the ultimate. No excuse trying to find Etheric as he goes for the flash to get out of there. Fresh Burger on top of Goose now. Goose finds a stun. They're trying to find No Excuse here. No Excuse has nowhere to go. Etheric finds the auto attack for the kill. Fuji finds a charm and a tease. The feathers will fly. He has nowhere to go. Kairos pops the ultimate to kill him because really kill that guy. And we're going to go forward. And White Lotus is going to take that 2-0 and most likely look for the Baron here.
So, what I was going to say before that murder happened was Schism's top and Schism's jungle each respectively have a 60 and a 50 CS lead on their counterpart. Problem that we just saw there is that White Lotus has decided instead of farming minions to farm champions. And that's really where this gold lead is damaged.
Stevenator's in the center of this fight. Oh no, Rakan tried to get in there, backpack going down. Stevenator finds a kill on Fuji, but he's going to go down next. And they stalled the Baron, which is good.
And they got a trade kill for it as well. Certainly being able to just get any gold you can is going to help them out.
Goose on the run here. Etheric's looking for his ult to come up, I believe. There it is. Very fast Aatrox. Oh, the stun's going to come down on Aatrox. Etheric's still running, though. All he has to do is find an auto here, or a Q. And that's going to be the end of Goose.
And I gotta be honest, it's a theme in Schism in my opinion. They don't have this summoner spell conservation within them. I know you usually praise players when they can flash early, make that quick decision making, know when to use that sum, and just get out of fights and save themselves. But instead what we've seen Schism players doing is they're flashing after the point of no return, when you can kind of already track how they're going to die.
Yeah.
And yet still they're popping these summoners and just delaying the inevitable, which puts these tools on such a long cooldown that they can't use them when they really need them to try to turn these fights or truly get out. And just, they're going to need to just kind of tighten up their just own micro play, not even the team play themselves, but just the micro play, if they really want to start having a chance here.
Yeah, I really think that just on top of the White Lotus machine really keeping forward in its plan, I really think they're finding more individual outplays between the White Lotus members onto SKZ, and it's really, you know, coming back on them. And I mean, SKZ, they're making good plays. Like, we saw them pull back the gold lead from their deficit into almost dead even. So they have the ability to, you know, they're still a very scrappy team, a team that will definitely look for the fights on the side. Oh, we see the Rakan looking for Fresh Burger here, but he's going to get pulled in by the swing, but he's trying to get himself out of there off the ultimate. Has move speed, has a knockup. Stevenator in the center of the fight, not looking as beefy as he was.
And that's just a huge cooldown. Steve has been a very massive part when he can position himself right in these team fights, especially now with the Void Sork Shoes, that he can really tear through some of these White Lotus players. But without that ulti, White Lotus almost has nothing to fear, as they don't really have to worry about just an AoE burst coming through having them. And even just macro rotation we saw there, White Lotus has a bit of a lead, decides to go for Dragon.
Ooh, Fuji.
Wait to no response.
Tej dodging out the... Oh, the charm. Flashing away from Daydream engage. Still looking for the stun. Not quite finding it. No excuse. Going to go in there trying to find Etheric. Etheric goes down. They're looking for something here. Tej on the back end. Nobody's able to get to him. We see that Mumu is going to get feared down with the Nocturne. Looking for somebody. No ultimate available there. Double kill is going to go through on Goose. Trying to find the kill on Kairos. Kairos stopwatches. And there's an SKZ 3-0. That was just so much greed for Teach.
I'm sorry, did you say 3-0?
3 for nothing. 3-0.
Just like the 3-0 that donated 2,500 bits a while ago. Just want to give him a second shout out.
That's our boy 3-0 Esports.
Just that donation from before. Just want to give him milk it for all it's worth. But
Whoa, back. Finding the flash, our combo. The immediate kill on a Fuji.
Just Schism trying to pull away with what they can. They actually flipped the gold lead. About 1.3k in their favor. Let's round it up to just 1.4, 1.3. We'll round it up to 1/2 as it is now. But just really making a name for themselves. And the comp we're starting to see, you know, Backpack's blowing some of these engages a little early, trying to force out some ultis from the other side. But this just kind of is morphed into the Kill Etheric comp, where you have the Aurelia engage, you have sometimes the Rakan engage, you have sometimes that Nocturne engage. You know, Swain can pull him in, Tej can try to get some feathers through if he positions right. There's so many tools to try to kind of catch Ethereal in a bad spot here. What
did I just watch?
I think he just barely missed the bush when he walked towards it, or he just kind of decided not to pay attention. One of those, you know, you see someone,
I don't want to mess
see a guy with a knife walking towards you, you like turn away, you're like he's not there, and just walk away. Kind of cartoon-esque getaway almost.
I think the thing with White Lotus here, and I think it manifested itself in that fight, is the Amumu Alistair gives so many layers of protection to Etheric against, you know, the Nocturne Aurelia dive, but they keep spending all of their resources to dive into the backline of Schism, and I think that they, you know, undervalued how ahead they were in team fights. I think they committed too much to just try to straight remove Teach from that fight. I mean, you saw Kairos go in, you saw the flash from Alistair, you saw everybody, and I mean, Teach got out of there. And I think right after Teach flashed away from Daydreams, I think that should have been the end of the Try to Kill Teach show. Because right after that is immediately when Schism just poured in and said, well, you spent all of your defensive tools to engage on us, so now we're just going to kill your carry. Goose and Freshburger having an interesting fight here. The stun's going to miss out from Goose Daddy, but it's going to be a lot of the same two people hitting back and forth.
And both ults burned. It's just interesting to note that because Aurelia's ults on such a shorter cooldown.
No excuse on to Freshburger again, as he's going to flee, and there's no ultimate available for him. He's going to go down. Another solo kill on the Nocturnal kill onto Freshburger here.
Don't check it. Okay, good. I was going to say, they know not to check it, right? But
oh, Fuji! The Hourglass coming through. That's a miss. Charm and a miss bandage. No, the Charm's going to miss again. But the Moon Ultimate comes through on Backpack and on Steven Air. Steven Air has nowhere to really go. The Demonic Ascension almost kills Fuji, but he gets healed up by the Ari passive. Goose Daddy's here. Adrian tries a two-man knock, but Goose is here. Finding the stun into Kairos. They're looking for more. Schism's looking scrappy right here. Daydreams is going to get really low. Trying to turn around. No excuse having to get out of that fight. But they're going to find the kill into Daydreams, but Kairos going to come back in. Tej finds the ultimate. Etheric finds the two-shot. Goose Daddy comes in and taps him. These fights going on so long. Kairos tries to go back into Goose Daddy, but Goose Daddy turns around and finds it goes. There's the Nocturne ult again! And there's the Schism sweep. 5 for 2 in favor of Schism.
And it's what we were talking about earlier. Just... Oh, don't TP up there. I'll just... don't do it.
There's the Aurelia ultimate. Fresh is clearing out the minions pretty well. Pushing both of them away from this. Don't think this is what he wants. Goose Daddy doesn't have the mana right now, but Freshburger doesn't have the life sauce right now.
Yeah, who needs mana when you're Aurelia?
Yeah. Mana is a concept, I think.
I was talking about before, this scaling damage, Aurelia can solo carry, Swain can solo carry, Xayah can solo carry, a good Nocturne can try to solo carry. All these solo QS carry champions that can just scale into this late game. White Lotus did not secure their gold lead enough. They didn't push to end this game quick enough, and we're getting into a point where Schism can possibly win just almost off the champs they picked, just because they're getting to a point where they're so much stronger. The Aurelia burst, the Swain burst, the Xayah sustain damage, the Nocturne backline burst with the ultimate. That You know, White Lotus has to play these team fights just absolutely perfectly if they really want to try to win fights again, as we're starting to see this tempo shift over to Schism's favor with basically a 4K gold lead now in Schism's favor.
The interesting thing about, you know, the Swain and the Aurelia specifically is it's really putting a hamper on what White Lotus's comp is trying to do, where they just find the Amumu Alistar pick, say, if this guy is CC'd, now he's dead. They don't have, you know, even with Ari and the Aatrox all diving on one person, the Swain with the Hourglass and the Aurelia, you know, with the Sterix and all the armor that's built up, they don't have the ability to burst down the champions that are carrying on the side of Schism. And that's the problem with, you know, having, oh, we're looking for more. They're trying to get out as best they can. Nocturne on top of him. Rakan's there. He gets locked up by the Amumu ultimate. They're trying to get out of there. Goose is going to find him. The Guardian is going to revive him. But Backpack's going to go down. Goose is still looking for Etheric here. He's going to revive up. No excuse now. He's going to go down. Steven Air trying to find something here. Etheric getting back up with the Guardian Angel was a huge boon for them, but they're going to find the kill on a Teach in the backline. It's just Goose alive. And there's your counter. If you spend everything on Etheric and he's wearing his very shiny backpack, he's going to wake up and suddenly you've spent everything, and now you have nothing to continue the fight because their carry isn't dead anymore.
And the other thing to note is Ethereal isn't the only source of damage. You have Aatrox, you have Ari, who can pump out plenty of damage if you leave him alone. It's exactly what happened. And as you were talking about before, White Lotus needs to start rotating their CC in a protective manner. They need to just wait to absorb Schism's comp and use that Alistar, use that Amumu, just kind of sit down and say, you guys aren't going anywhere. We're going to let the carries focus you. And it's exactly what happened in that fight. And it's interesting to note that before that fight happened, while Etheric was about 2.5k gold ahead of Tej, he had a 1 full item advantage on Tej. Aurelia was 3k up on Aatrox, and Nocturne was 3k up on Amumu. So they had such a lead in those two positions, they actually needed to fight around that top and that jungle and kind of bait out those CC abilities, but instead they trusted the lead they'd start to take in so much that now the teams are actually dead even. And with White Lotus having this Elder Drake, they could just rotate to Baron, and this could be another very close fight we're about to see over this major objective.
Yeah, having the buff up on the Elder Dragon is really going to be a huge boon for them. And if, I mean, not having the Guardian Angel is going to be important for Etheric again. If Schism tries to go with the same idea that they've had, where they pick him out there, Fuji going to very quickly burn out the Ari ultimate to kill off some minions there. Reliably low cooldown. But we'll see how this is going forward. White Lotus is going to start the Baron here. We may see the final clash here.
Yeah, I believe a Baron and an Ace does end the game for either team.
Baron is going to go to White Lotus. The Nocturne ult goes down. I don't think they're going to make anything happen off it, but that's going to be the Sivir ultimate. Aatrox is going to go through backhand, finds the 2-man ultimate. It's going to lock up a Etheric there. He goes super low. He actually dies in the back line. He's going to go to Steven here. Kairos in the center of things. Kairos might go down next. He goes down to Goose. In the back line, we see Tej and Freshburger fighting out. Tej can't take Freshburger down. Freshburger's going to find the kill there. Fuji's running away from Goose. Fuji's going to hang on to that Baron buff, trying to fight down the Aurelia. He's going to get stunned up by the E.
And just a 2-for-1 in favor of Schism.
Ooh,
and they are
the flash comes through. Steven there finds the Q on the Ari. Daydreams finds the combo, but Fuji's stuck in the hourglass, trying to get the kill on a Goose. Fuji gets out of there. Daydream's trying to make something happen. Vision of Empire not going to find either of them.
It's funny enough, we see Fresh pushing down this top.
He's just saying, well, you guys look like you're having fun. I'm going to slap these towers around a little bit.
And good lord, does he cut through them like
Double
butter.
Earth Dragon. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Double Earth, Elder Drake, Baron.
Yeah. Towers don't get to exist against that.
Yeah, that's going to be a big yikes. But these team fights keep flipping back and forth. I don't really know how to describe them because it's just each team fights the correct way and then they decide not to. There we see White Lotus try to engage the fight and they burn a lot and they try to get through. And because we had those feathers waiting behind Ethereal and because he got charmed up by Backpack very well with the knockup, he isn't able to spell shield the feathers, the damage comes through. And Swain's just able to pop him the rest of the way. It's funny to say that whatever team engages the fight loses, but that's basically how it's been going at this point.
Yeah, we really do just see it again and again. It's really just a professional game of chicken.
First one to falter loses here, and we see it so many times. I mean, Schism was pulling ahead with their idea so many times early on, where their idea was find Sivir, kill Sivir, we win. And now it's it shifted away now. Fuji has gotten to the point where he does a colossal amount of damage and can't really be ignored in these fights. Freshburger is able to. I think another problem is that they're spending so much. Backpack is spending so much of all of his kit to just full hard engage onto the side of White Lotus that nobody is really hanging back. Oh, Fuji not gonna find there. Finds the Backpack in the center of things. He's gonna get out of there. Charms off one. Backpack going dangerously low.
This is interesting. They still do have a Baron on their side, and they're going to be able to push through. And Goose, almost a low out position at the top, has to back, trying to save that teleport. We'll try to run in for this inhibitor, but Backpack has to go back and heal, so they'll probably just tear through it quick.
They doesn't find the combo, but they're looking for the find the back. Teej is going to get taken down by Freshburger. No excuse trying to find somebody getting locked up by the Amumu ultimate. There is nobody he can get to here. Gonna get put in the Vision of Empire. Fuji's gonna go dangerously low. Steven Air is hourglassing in the middle of 5. Pops a demonic extension. Nobody goes down. Freshburger didn't take that kill. And I think this is gonna be the end.
It is an Aurelia. There's about that 5% chance of very good knock-up into a very good ulti. Could mean some kills, but it's gonna have to be a dream play basically. Especially with that Guardian Angel up on the side of Etheric.
Yeah, I think this dream just became a nightmare for the side of Schism. Goose Daddy came in and find the kill on Fuji. As Fuji slides away, they're trying to find the return on Goose. Backpack's kind of hanging around the back, doing his sad laps. And we are going to see Game 2 go to White Lotus.
Now, a much better performance from Schism that time, starting to get their bearings again. But it's the problem with Lotus. As soon as you give them the game back, one missed team fight, one misstep with an ability, they're able to latch onto that so hard that it hurts to see. It hurts to see. And Schism is going to have to play a very clean next 3 games and try to just pray for this reverse sweep. As, they certainly have the tools. We see them able to pull ahead, but they have to play the whole game that way, not just these little bits of inspiration.
Definitely agree. I think that sort of the Schism dogfighting comp is not, it looked like it was going to work for them a little bit early on going through. They found a little bit of what they wanted, but it eventually, culminated into, they didn't find the fights in the end, and they just kind of got outdone in team fights. It really just didn't work out for them. So we're going to see if adjustments come out in Game 3. Something else, Laxton?
Yeah, just a quick note. Who do you think did the most damage in a 43-minute game?
Ooh, I didn't actually look, but if I had to pick somebody, I would actually say it might be Stevenator.
It was at 59.7k.
Hey, that's
which means he did about 1.1k a minute averaged out, which is just insane. The next highest damage number across everybody is actually Fuji. Funny enough, the mid laner is doing the top at 38. He outdamaged the next highest by a whopping 21,000 damage. So just, I'll hope to see the Swain again. Steve has shown a lot of decent performances on it. But again, we even saw damage. Everyone on Schism almost did, upwards of 20, 30k damage, hovering that low 30, high 20 range. But they need to pull it together to be able to make it work.
I agree. I think that I don't know if the adjustments need to come out of pick ban here. I think that there are a little bit of questionable things going down there. We will see what goes through to Game 3. I think that Schism is, they have their ideas, and I think that White Lotus, I think their issues are letting White Lotus play their game, and they're not quite playing to their standard. So we'll see what kind of adjustment comes out for Game 3. We will head over to that very soon. We're going to head to a short break in the meantime. Hello, we are back. Games XP Championship Playoff Finals, Season 4? Oh my lord, yeah, it's Season 4. Don't even worry about it. I totally knew what I was saying when I said it. We've got White Lotus, we've got Schism Esports. White Lotus sitting at 2-0, looking to clinch this series, take it for a quick 3-0 sweep. Schism looking to start the reverse sweep up and maybe pick up 1-2. We're going to see what's happening going forward, and I am now joined by my co-caster, Quasars.
Yeah, unfortunately, Laxton had to leave, so I'm here now, but it's okay because I'm more fun, right?
That is what we're looking at. We're looking at some lighthearted fun for the rest of this final sets. That is what Schism's looking to bring. They're a 4 fun team, 4 fun players, looking to bring for fun to the rest of this set. We're going to see the Urgot band come out again. Lucian band coming out. I think we're gonna maybe see more of the same here. Kindred band gonna come out, probably gonna go for the I think they want to go with the Aatrox band here. I really don't think they want to see Freshburger first pick that, because they definitely will.
Yeah, that was pretty spooky last game. I was watching on Twitch, so I know what went on. And yeah, I mean, I feel like both the Victor and the Aatrox are ban worthy. So, but it looks like they're going for the Victor right now. I kind of want to see the Aatrox too, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange if you're gonna ban the Victor, which is most notoriously a counter to the Aatrox. You typically want to take away the Aatrox with it, but they're gonna ban Nocturne here. And Freshburger's on an Aatrox. I don't know how it happened. Somehow we are back here. Deja vu. I've just been in this place before. And that's a Hecarim. Okay.
Yeah, I haven't really seen too much of Hecarim since I was in Silver, but we're bringing him out. Let's go. Let's dive.
I don't know. Hecarim's interesting. I think that it's... You know what? I don't even know what I think. I don't know what I think about Hecarim. We see the Akali come in for Steven Air, which is very interesting. Steven Air has had very good performance on Akali. With the Galio and the champion you just played last, the Galio and the Swain both open, but taking the Akali over both is interesting. Steve, there, if we are going to see the Akali, these are interestingly flexible champions. I know we've seen Hecarim kind of move across the map, different spots throughout the ages. We saw a little bit of him mid. We saw him top for a while with a couple things. Traditionally he's more of a jungler. And we are going to see the Sivir go over to Tej this time, as we see Etheric pick up the Xayah.
Yeah, a bit of an AD carry swap over here. I do feel like last game, Tej was pretty spooked when it came to White Lotus kind of charging in on him, and I saw him use his Xayah ult way too early a few times, so I kind of want to see how Etheric goes and uses that ulti this game.
Quick reminder for anyone who didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
Oh,
quick reminder for anyone who hasn't voted. We've got White Lotus sitting at 77% of the vote and Schism sitting at 23% of the vote. Got about 8 minutes left to go for the vote. If you're looking to pick that up, make sure you get your votes in there. You think White Lotus is going to finish off, sweep the set, or Schism has some fight left in him, make sure you get those down. But after that, we're going to see the bans come through. We see both the Rakan get taken away to break up the Lovers duo for the bot lane, and we see the Alstica. And most notably, we have the Threshes open on the side of Daydreams. And I think that without a second thought, Daydream's going to insta-lock the Thresh and not worry about it. And that, what? Wait.
Ooh.
That's Graves jungle. That's a Hecarim top. So, I'm a bot lane player. I'm a support main. 80 carry second. I see that horse and I say that's a jungler, and I see it in the top lane and I now know nothing. What I do know is that Fuji is on Katarina.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
Ooh, and we see Soraka get picked up. Okay, so okay. A lot of unexpected last minute picks here. Well, the Kinch is unbenched to start it off with. We do see that Daydream picked up the Tom Kinch. I don't really know how that synergy is with the Xayah in the bot lane. Like personally, I think of like Kinch with like a Caitlyn. That's just me though. But we're getting that with the Xayah this time. I feel like if he can, hit his slows, then it should be like a lot of extra damage from the Xayah going on to whoever he manages to hit. I have seen Katarina or Fuji play Katarina, I believe once, and that was versus Frisian, and he completely smashed Frisian in lane on that Katarina. So I do think that's a good early pick, but only if he's able to get ahead and capitalize on that. If not, then when we're going into the mid to late game, then I don't think he's going to be able to do too much on that Katarina.
So a little of my thoughts here. We've got TP Ignite Hecarim in the top lane into Aatrox. And like I said, I don't know a lot about Hecarim top, but I do know that Aatrox does approximately 7,000 damage at level 2. And I think that Hecarim does somewhere around 300, probably. So I don't know. I have to see it. I don't want to comment too much about top lane because I don't know what's going to happen. I think the Hecarim is an interesting pick. I don't know if it's done, and I feel bad for not have done my research on it. But I do know that Fuji has a very decorated Katarina, and I think that he picked Katarina into a team that is not very capable of punishing. You have, Graves has no hard CC. Akali, I believe, has a stun on her ultimate dash. Sivir has no hard CC. Soraka can silence her, and then there's the Hecarim E or ult. So there are very few options that are not being used to engage on the side of SKZ that could be used to, stop Fuji after a team fight's basically, if a team fight's already broken out, it's probably where Schism has spent most of their CC. So Fuji will just slide into these team fights, I think, and just absolutely bring it down. So I think that's going to be a major point of contention, even though Stevenair has put out good performances on the Akali. So I think we may see him, bring a fight to Fuji. But I believe Fuji's gotten away with playing Katarina 3 times in this league. Once against TPR, once against a team in week 2, I think. He had to play it and thrust it out with like a 50% kill for just 50% damage dealt to champions. Something absurd. So I think that we're going to see either Fuji pop off, or we're going to see how well this backpack Soraka really holds up in lane. Because I think that while you talk about maybe synergies with Tahm Kench, I think Tahm Kench is more of the anti-synergy against the enemy team. So I think that taking away the option for the Hecarim Akali to dive onto Etheric, you saw a lot of it with Nocturne where they just pile dudes onto Etheric and say, well, if we hit you with enough, he'll die. But now he has a Tahm Kench to say, you can throw everything you want at this man, I will make sure he doesn't die. So I think that that's the plan they brought with the Tahm Kench to sort of nullify the Akali Hecarim dive onto one person. And then I think from there it's going to be the Fuji Kairos show. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
See, I'd like to point out that the past couple of games, I don't feel like Stevenator was doing as well as he could have in the mid lane. And I feel like that Graves and Hecarim picks, those are going to be kind of centered towards helping out mid lane a little bit earlier because of Hecarim's capability of moving very fast across the map.
I agree. We will see how Game 3 pans out, and we will head over to a commercial break and then catch you guys for Game 3.
My name is Tim Borseth, and I own and operate Games XP in Decorah, Iowa. Games XP is a geek paradise. We carry everything from Pong and Atari all the way to Xbox One and PS4, and all the games that would go with those consoles as well. We also carry a ton of movies. We have handheld games. We have Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon. We have D&D and Pathfinder. We carry Warhammer 40K. We have a vintage Star Wars selection. This place is great. My wife and I have had 6 kids, and they are so much fun to work with here at the store. They run the store as much as I do.
And we now repair cell phones, game consoles, computers, and small electronics.
Our store is instant fun. Not only is there cool music and cool stuff to look at, but we have a game room that is so much fun. It's free to play, and you just plug in your game system and enjoy life. The Game XP motto is bringing joy to people's lives through our products, people, and a place to play. So you have got to come to Decorah, Iowa and check out Games XP and experience this geek gaming paradise.
And here we are, Game 3, Games XP Championship Playoff Finals between White Lotus and Schism Esports. White Lotus sitting at 2-0, looking at match point. Schism looking to put themselves on the board with their first win. And a whole lot of new picks coming out, a whole lot of White Lotus trying to end this game in style. Fuji getting to brandish the Katarina, trying to put his mark on this championship at the very end of the line. We will see what happens. Goose bringing out the very interesting and apparently slightly more normal than I thought TP Ignite Hecarim in the top lane. But we'll see what happens.
Looks like the supports have spotted each other out, and so have the junglers.
Just a whole lot of dancing.
They're just saying hi right now. They're like...
I really think that's what has to happen when two assassins meet each other in lane. Is they kind of drop the joke and say, you know what, one of us is gonna really just explode later.
Yeah. Like,
Goose showing us he is a decorated Hecarim player.
There's a possibility that you know, one of them could roam if they lose lane and get big, and then they'd have to like meet up later and say, oh look, who's bigger.
Daydreams. There's a bit of free damage on backpack who does not return the Q. And the betting is now closed on SKZ versus White Lotus. I believe the bets looked primarily the same. And things just kind of staying static here. Just a little back and forth auto attack and trade, two melee assassins here. Goose, God, that's what you see from Aatrox. I mean, now he's got the electrocute, which I believe he's had across the games, but just the damage on the electrocute is going to be way too big, I think. It is going to be 22% of the vote for Schism and 78% for White Lotus at the end of the line here. And I guess Goose heals up a decent amount off those minions, and if Freshberg comes into melee range of the W, but it doesn't matter between the cooldown of Hecarim spells and the cooldown of Aatrox's, I think. I hope I don't have to watch this lane too much because it's very strange to watch.
Yeah, no, I have to agree.
Ooh. Oh my lord, watch these two just flippy flopping all over the place. I mean, Goose is healing a decent amount off the Hecarim W, and I mean, Hecarim's spells are fairly low mana cost. So he has the ability to keep himself, you know, kind of healthy, I will say. But
yeah, it's definitely a lot more sustain than I thought he would have. Like, I used to jungle as Hecarim
right.
back a few seasons ago.
Fuji!
Ooh.
Goes to the Ignite! Steven is going to spend his flash and he's going to narrowly survive. Fuji might look for a flash Q here or something cheeky. Not going to happen, though.
Ooh.
And just letting people know, we've got a $25 RP giveaway that you can do in the chat. If you type !ticket and a number of tickets, you can, I believe, bet points to get yourself some tickets to win a raffle off for that $25 RP. So make sure you do that if you want to win some RP. In the meantime, we see Goose going to push Freshberg away from that lane.
Yeah, we just see like a lot of back and forth tradings early. Mid lane and top lane have come close to dying, so I kind of want to see like where first blood goes. Honestly, I think it would probably be on Freshberg top lane, just because he has a lot of poke.
It's watching this damage, this Aatrox damage is massive, but at the same time, the Hecarim Q is a very nice wave clear tool, and I mean it's very reliably low mana cost. Again, just the sort of consistent theme about Hecarim spells. You have the ability to, you know, just kind of cut down a minion wave very quickly, and shove the wave into Aatrox, who typically is going to want to spend his Q on splitting between harassing you and cleaving through minions. So you kind of force him to make that choice to just spend it on the minions and not be able to hit you, and it kind of gives you that advantage naturally. But of course, at the same time, Freshburger is building his CS lead up over Goose here in the top lane. Fuji's trying to look for a little more there.
Yeah, Ooh. I lost my train of thought already, jeez. I was gonna say, it looks like No Excuse is kind of hovering around that bot lane, so they might be looking for a gank here shortly after getting what is that, Gromp?
Ooh, Fuji. Man, these fights. I could watch this. I really want to watch this mid lane way more than I want to watch top lane. But Fresh is definitely putting the damage down onto Goose here.
Yeah, Fresh is definitely being a little bit of a bully right now.
Another very important thing to note is that Kairos is level 3 right now. I noticed he's level 5. He slid into the side of Kairos and took, I believe, he did get his Gromp. He did get, most of the side of his jungle. Put himself about 4 or 5 camps ahead. So definitely finding, the early plays on these more aggressive junglers to shut down this Amumu and rush out the level 6 there. But we really want to see No Excuse try to convert that to something here.
Yeah, and it looks like bot lane's trying to push out a little bit, maybe back, and meanwhile Steven is trying to get the minions off his. But it looks like Karos might be moving towards red buff, gonna grab that and maybe help out either mid or bot lane. Personally, I would want to see him help out mid lane a little bit just to try to get one of the assassins ahead.
So much flipping and moving around. I love watching this. It's so goofy. Someone needs to die though. They have 6s next to their heads. Somebody kill someone. Mark's down. Oh, Fuji going for the E ultimate! Steven Air not quite fighting it. Oh, Steven Air looking, the flash comes through the auto attack! It's gonna go to Steven Air for first blood.
Oh my god, that was really close.
Wow.
Lots of dashes, lots of flips, lots of we did see flash and 2 ignites go down for that one. We saw a couple of electrocutes proc, lots of stuff. But I honestly thought that Fuji would be able to grab that.
Right, I saw Steven Air had the hard outplay there. I saw Fuji was turning around looking to just throw the Q at Steven to say, hey, I'm gonna throw this dagger at you and it's gonna kill you. Steven Air finding the flip to go over into the skill that gave him the kill before Katarina could even throw the dagger. Really a very good testament to Steven, a very solid first one there. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that crazy play, just the assassin outplay. Very nicely done on the side of Steven.
Yeah, right. Like I just expected it to go over to Fuji just because like he's kind of been poking out Stevenator a little bit more in lane, and then all of a sudden like Stevenator turns around and kills Fuji instead, and I'm like, what? That's not how this is supposed to happen.
Either way, we do see it, and we do see No Excuse looking for that dragon there. He's going to pick it up. That is going to be an early Ocean Drake. Nice little bit of regen for the team. Steven Air looking. Turns back out on Fuji, goes to the dagger. Steven Air putting the damage down on him now. And it's a little easier when they're, oh, Kairos is here. Finds the ultimate right off the bat. Fuji going in off the ultimate. Steven Air is in the smoke. He has nowhere to really go. He backflips in. He can't do it. That's going to be the kill for Fuji as Kairos comes in for the assist.
I kind of want to see like a back and forth, like even kills in mid lane just to see like what the assassins are able to do like everywhere else. So right, I'm really happy that
this makes the Fuji and Steve show, really. Goose fighting Freshburger here. I don't know. The Ignite's down on Freshburger. The ultimate comes through on Hecarim. And that's an ignited Freshburger. He's going to get his ultimate popped. Not bad, but not dead.
And we do see Kairos kind of checking in to see if he can do something top lane and maybe give a kill over to Freshburger. But he ultimately decides to back off, go do some jungle camps.
I mean, Goose is... I'm starting to see, I'm starting to understand as somebody who's not seen Hecarim in months. I'm starting to understand how this champion gets away with, running into you, doing a lot of damage to the EQ combo, shoving out menu waves, and then healing himself up off the W. And you kind of get the ability, especially against these other melees, who spend their wave clear to fight. Oh, Fuji. Going for the little bit of the ultimate damage on Steve, but he's going to get caught out there. So his ultimate's down for a little bit. But no, the sustained shove, the burst sustained shove sort of pattern trade out of Hecarim for very low cost spells is really, working out for him. And I think the phase rush is interesting too as well. Hecarim having the passive to gain AD based on his bonus move speed. It's interesting. Watching it happen as somebody who's never witnessed it himself, I understand the pick now, and I understand why it works decently well against the Aatrox. Of course, he is still down about 20 CS here. Hasn't exactly found a kill or anything, but he's put Freshburger in a fairly various situation. And with a little bit more finesse, he may be able to find some kills.
Yeah, it looks like he's stealing wolves from Karos there in the jungle. No vision at all.
There's Tom Kench in the back. Daydreams is coming with Kairos. He's going to pop the Sivir ultimate and get out of there, but Backpack is just looking for a place to go. Fuji and No Excuse. Gonna find the Flash Tongue onto No Excuse. 2 Tom Kench autos going down. He's going to get eaten up. Etheric's going to find the kill on No Excuse. Goose going to run into Freshburger, but does a decent job of dodging out these Aatrox Qs. Just kidding, he's going to lose half his health to Aatrox Q.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, because I wasn't really too much before, but I feel like the Hecarim's really good if you're worried about getting ganked, because you can just run away.
You have really...
so it really helps with preventing any gank potential from the other team as well, because he's gone by the time he sees you,
Right. Ooh, Stevenator looking, but Fuji's back there, but the ultimate's coming out of Kairos. Fuji's ignited and walking away. Fuji might die here! No, he's still alive. The last tick not gonna do it. But Freshburger looking for Goose Daddy here. He's floating towards him. He goes for the flash and doesn't find the follow-up kill. Oh, No Excuse is here. He has no idea, and I think that's gonna be a pretty quick... Oh no, that's still the ultimate coming down. How long is that ultimate resurrection timer? I think No Excuse should be fine to get the kill here. Finds the auto, finds the dash, finds the auto, finds the Q, he's dead. Oh.
Poor Fresh, he wanted that so bad, but Hecarim's just too speedy.
Yeah, when he flashed for the auto attack, I think he was confident that that one was going to be the one to find the kill. And then when just, narrowly didn't, the power of the cloth armor, it really didn't work out.
Not quite too much, unfortunately. But good escape coming from Goose.
Oh, the feathers come through, but he's going to spell shield the snare. Very nice on the side of Tej, avoiding that death there.
And while we were caught up in kind of covering what happened top lane, bot lane on the side of Schism was actually able to get, I believe, first tower. Yeah, first tower. So that's going to go over to them. That's a nice little bit of gold.
Yeah, definitely nice being in the pocket of Sivir there, looking to get Tej a little bit early ahead. Etheric putting a lot of damage down on Tej. The spell shield coming through, but not finding anything there. Goose is going to run into Burger here. But I think he's got to get himself out of there. That is out the Q3 from Aatrox.
Yeah, and as I mentioned in Champ Select, Tej kind of was using that Xayah ulti a little bit more defensively, but we just saw Etheric go out and use it offensively to try to snare Tej and keep him from running away from him, so he could secure that kill. But unfortunately for him, Tej was able to put up the spell shield and kind of prevent that from happening. So I do like to see the difference in how AD carries tend to use their ults and different skills to either use that aggressively or defensively.
We have peaked at 71 viewers. We are here for the main event, looking to go forward, and Schism is actually sitting, decent tip of the mountain here in the gold lead. Steve and I are looking to poke down, getting caught up by Vision Ward there. Things are staying pretty stable throughout this game, and we are seeing, Tej is getting the opportunity again, play the other end of the Sivir-Zaya matchup. And, instead of having to deal with a Nocturne diving on top of you this time, it's really mostly the Amumu. And, Katarina coming out of nowhere to cause trouble for you, but I think it's a lot less for him to deal with than the sort of in-your-face style of the Alistar or Nocturne they have to worry about. And having the Soraka is going to be a nice boon in his favor. So I think that... I think I don't watch that. Fresh Burger. No excuse hurts. That man's got a gun. He walked into the queue to purposely revive, but I'm pretty sure that man is very dead.
Ooh.
Wow. Goose shows up right on time.
He just wanted the tower.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, Kyra's gonna find the minion, gonna shove out the minion wave there to keep them off the tower.
Fuji's looking to run top lane now.
Yeah, Goose is kind of looking like a stack of gold right now, so...
If they could just catch him.
Yeah, that's the problem. He can kind of stall out as long as he needs to. I think the pings are gonna come down, but I don't think they're gonna accomplish anything. He's gonna... Oh no, the timer was still there!
Oh no!
Kairos, how did that... He was out of there for like 15... What even is the timer? I don't even know.
I don't know, it's a long time.
I thought it was 10
You're
seconds.
never safe.
Oh no! Here comes the assassin duel we were looking for! Stevenator and Fuji jumping past each other, but it's not coming out! Fuji! The dagger throw is gonna find him! And Steve's gonna go down to the side of Fuji this time.
I was
Oh,
like holding
my
my
lord.
breath.
What?
Okay.
Pause!
Pause! Oh no!
You can't pause after that! Oh!
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I was holding my breath throughout that whole exchange. I was like, oh my god, who's gonna die?
God.
Someone.
As soon as I saw the Shunpo, as soon as I saw the Shunpo cross the Akali, I believe Q2, where Akali dashes after the mark. So Akali dashed past Cat and Cat Shunpo'd past Akali, and I saw them on opposite sides. I'm like, oh no, Etheric! Feathers fly from no excuse after the ultimate, and he's not gonna get hit by it. But in the end, we are going to see Fresh Burger's going to take that top lane tower.
He did it. I would have been so salty if that were me. Like, that tower was one auto away, and he had to back off, and he ended up dying too. Like, I would have been pissed.
It's true. Yeah. Whew. I'm still trying to recover from that, man.
This has actually kind of been slow compared to the other games. Like, it's taken a while for it to pick up.
It's really been a little bit more controlled in-house fighting than, just team objectives.
Yeah, it's not like as aggressive as like in your face, like, hey, we're fighting you right now without thinking about it. It's more of like, okay, let's sit back and
Fuji!
Ooh.
He's gonna get silenced by Soraka, so he can't continue his combo. Going for the flash ultimate on the Tej, looking for the follow-up, but finding the Soraka silence, very quickly stopping him from finding that follow.
That was a lot of damage. Like, I think Fuji's just like right now trying to figure out like, hey, who can I blow up? And he's like not really at the point where he can blow up anyone. He's just like testing how much damage he can actually do.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had the Katarina combo, like he had the flash ultimate, and then as soon as Tej got out of range of the ultimate, he was going to go for the QE, but the Soraka silence just stopped him from being able to move anywhere. He definitely had that kill in his hands, so back-to-back definitely saving lives out here. Trust your support. And we do see Goose is going to solo up that dragon, putting another dragon on the side of Schism, so very quietly picking up these objectives for the side of Schism. Oh no, the bandage toss onto backpack. He's going to get tongued up, bandaged up. The ultimate comes through. There is nothing that will save that Soraka. Etheric finds a couple poke. Oh, Etheric walking to Daydreams there. Oh, another assassin fight! Show me more of this! I need this! Steven there goes back on Fuji! Who's dead? Tower shot's gonna kill Steven here. You're kidding me.
Oh.
Oh, my lord. Goose and Fresh are gonna be fighting this. There's just fighting. It's just solo fights everywhere. Freshberg's on top of Goose. Goose has the ultimate to get out of there.
Yeah, I think I spoke a little bit too soon, like you were doing earlier when I said that there's not really any fights being picked up anywhere.
Just...
And then team fights pop
Oh,
out of
my
nowhere.
lord. Oh, Fresh. Oh, the world Havoc Reeker. I don't know what the skill's called. I'm gonna call it the portal pull. Gets the portal pull down onto Goose and finds the auto attack Q combo to kill him. We are looking for a little more, and that's gonna be another tower go through.
It looks like Excuse is trying to roam over, and so is back there. So unfortunately, not a tower pickup. Fresh has to back off of that one, but
since that skill is called Infernal Chains, that's terrible. But going a little bit forward, yeah, this is definitely, you know, I mean, despite the fact that we're seeing White Lotus winning out these skirmishes, we are seeing Schism is still staying ahead decently in terms of gold. But all of that gold, I mean, all of the gold that's contributing to the lead is in the hands of No Excuse, who is sitting at roughly 1,600 gold ahead of Kairos. But you look at everyone else, and you see Fuji's 1k ahead of Stevenator. You see Burger's ahead about 1,600 on Goose. And the only other one is Tej, who's 1,300 ahead of Etheric right now.
yeah,
Really...
Oh, go ahead.
That was it. The lead is very, you know, oddly distributed among members of the team here. Oh, Backpack tried to slide in to silence to stop the... He wanted to silence to stop the summoning of the Rift Child. Not going to get in there, and he's going to get picked off very quickly.
Good effort, but not quite.
Yeah, not quite what they wanted there. They're going to drop the Herald. They're going to take tier 2 tower. Goose on the side here is going to ult over the wall.
Yeah, we see Freshburger split pushing bot lane as well while they're all doing their thing mid lane. So we're about to get some more lane pressure on the bot side just from that minion wave that he's bringing up. And it looks like Zaya's roaming down, up to top lane to do the same thing, kind of push a wave.
Stevenator being surrounded here. Fuji's got the ultimate. Stevenator slides out. They're looking for more. Getting silenced up by the Soraka again. Freshberg is going to find the tower in the top lane. Bot lane. That is the under top. The down top, if you will.
Yeah, now we're just kind of seeing some picks get distributed to White Lotus, and we've seen a couple get picked up by Schism, but not nearly as many.
There, look. This is, oh, Kairos finds the ultimate, locks up Goose, locks up No Excuse. Stevenator might be next. Freshburger on the side of things, trying to find something to happen. He's just kind of slamming his sword on the ground to get people to go away. Gonna get eaten up by Daydreams there. Does not have to go for the ultimate. I think he did anyway.
Sorry for the little squeak. Haru apparently found her way back into the bedroom, and I thought I locked her out.
We're looking for a little more go through, and I mean that was a huge hole punched into the wall for the side of White Lotus there, and I mean they've tilted the gold lead back to about a 5k at around the 23.5 minute mark. The Knight's Vow coming down into Etheric as he's coming into his third item here, looking to go to the Infinity Edge next as he gets to the red buff. Towers, stretch 6 to 2.
That tower advantage grew real quick. Last time I checked, Schism had all the towers, and now White Lotus happened to jump up by a 4-tower lead.
Oh, Tej is going to pop the ultimate to get away from the incoming Tom Kench ultimate.
Yeah, if he had pushed up just a little bit further overextended, that would have not been good for Schism, so a bit fortunate that he backed off when he did.
Fuji gonna pop over to Daydream, gets eaten up. I mean, at this point, Schism is really, I don't know what they want to look for to make fights happen for them. They don't really have the Nocturne go button. Hecarim isn't really as, cross map dive somebody as well as Nocturne or anything. It's just not, I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like they want to try to start a fight at Baron here. We do have, right now it would be a 4v5, and Netherix coming in from the back here.
I don't know, I want to see a fight happen.
Yeah, same. I want to see like a good, clean 5v5.
Oh, Hecarim gonna find the ult E onto Aether, gets a lot of damage too, but the snare is gonna come through. There's Fuji completely off screen, murdering people, but TJ's gonna finally take him down right before not going down himself. Goose trying to find the blue buff. Might die to blue buff. Blue buff punches him in the mouth. Kairos gonna find the kill there. The rest of Schism is going down. No Excuse gonna fall next. Freshburger just looking for him, smacks him with a sword. That's a double kill, and that's an ace for the side of White Lotus.
Ooh, that wasn't even really a 5v5. We had Fresh kind of in the bot lane doing his own thing for half of that. But Karo should be able to pick up this dragon by himself while Fresh and Daydreams go and get mid tower and maybe an inhib, because it looks like it's only backpack there at the
Team's
moment.
up right now.
Oh, yeah.
Teleport's coming through. I think that's Goose. They may try to look to run here.
Yeah.
Oh,
like
just kidding. He's gonna look to get Tom Kent slowed and absolutely just denied.
Ouch. That would have been really good too, like good reaction from both Freshburger and Daydreams on preventing that from happening.
Fuji. Steven here going back in. I don't know what he can get out of this. Backpack is
Way out of position.
Backpack is dead. Alright. White Lotus looking to turn up the heat here. Maybe turning onto the Baron. And we're gonna see the teleport come through. This might be the Baron play.
Ooh, Fuji might get caught out. Oh.
Something might happen here. Goose Dice coming in! Trying to find something to happen there. Not going to get through on there. No ultimate's gonna come through. Fuji's gonna find the kill there. White Lotus really just staring at this Baron. No Excuse has no way to get in here. Just trying to find a fight with Fuji. Might get the kill on Fuji. Fuji turns around, gets auto attack. No Excuse to take him down. The Kairos ultimate's coming through. Steven is locked up on the Akali. Hops over the wall. They're trying to get away from the Baron of White Lotus.
Yeah, good Soraka ult coming in from back there. Saved a couple lives.
Ooh, Fresh trying to find Teach. Teach flashes away there. Just the threat of the approaching White Lotus. Oh, Steve's trying to get something to happen here. He's sitting in the smoke. Disappears under the blade of Freshburger. Oh, Goose trying to run in. Trying to get some damage down. Not able to find a kill. Trying to get onto Kairos, but Kairos is way too tanky for this. The feathers fly. No Excuse goes down. Looking for Tej next. Tej's gonna find a back of Freshburger. Just gets two-shot. Backpack might be next. 1-2. Freshburger is just chasing SKZ out of their own base. And I think White Lotus is looking to end the game here. Freshburger is still on top of these two. Just absolutely rushed, saying, you don't even get to look at your base. You don't get to look at your bases. The rest of my team just ends the game without you. Backpack might get a chance. No! They're both done and gone. And there you go. And with that being done, your Games XP Championship Season 4 winners with a 3-0 victory is White Lotus.
Yeah, I felt like that last game was a lot more one-sided than the ones before that. Like, we had a couple good team fights, but I should say like team fights in quotations because not everybody was there. It was like 3 or 4 of them at a time, maybe. But we had a good amount of like fights going back and forth, like going into that mid game. But after a while, it's just like very obvious that White Lotus was taking the lead, and Schism wasn't really able to do too much about it. So.
Yeah, I mean, looking over the stats on it, I mean, it really speaks for itself. I think that, I don't know, handing the Aatrox to Freshburger twice was just not, I don't think it's what they wanted. And I mean, it showed. In this game, he dealt the most damage to champions this time, 24,400. Next highest in the game was Fuji on Katarina at 22k. So, I mean, Fuji's Katarina didn't even get to steal the show because Freshburger was just so, brutal throughout the rest of it.
His positioning in those team fights was very well executed. He put himself where he needed to be and was taking out the people who were doing the most damage, and at the same time he was kind of like protecting Fuji and Etheric from getting picked off as well. So it's like all in one. A very strong pick on his part for sure.
Yeah, I think it's anything going forward here, and I mean, we saw that it was a very decisive win on the slot of White Lotus, and I think that our next objective is to assign an MVP. If I hit up the stats team and make sure that's what we want to do here. Looking across these 3 games, looking at, and I mean, I talked about it again and again, the White Lotus well-oiled machine that is White Lotus, and what their objective is, how they achieve their goals, how they get their wins. Looking at these 3 games, what did it come down to, I think?
Well, I would like to
In
say
your opinion.
that. I would like to say that Freshburger, he was able to really do work when it came to like mid to late game. Like the first game when he was on his Victor, Echo was kind of like bullying him in lane, and he wasn't doing too hot. And then, after like they started getting into mid game and he was like getting some assists here and there and like picking up a few kills, he was able to really scale to a point where he was actually like doing more for his team than not. And I was kind of skeptical about that first pick. And then afterwards, when I like saw it like coming into play a little bit more, I was like, oh yeah, that's actually not that bad. Like, he's doing a pretty good job. And so I feel like when he gets to that mid to late game when he's like able to help his team instead of just being a top laner in the top lane, I feel like he actually does a lot of work for them, and that should be appreciated. And also Daydreams is out there saving lives, the real the unrecognized MVP. We saw him eat a lot of really low health teammates in team fights as Tom Ken should get them out of there like ASAP, so that way they could like regen a little bit and come back and maybe pick up another couple kills. So I think he did really good as well.
Yeah, I think looking across the board, I think that I would drop my hand in 1 or 2 places. I would either hand it to Kairos across his jungle performances. Absolutely, several times, right place, right time, just jungling, across the board. Even when it got to the point where No Excuse was in his jungle, invading him, getting the early advantages, and pushing ahead of him, Kairos just very consistently stayed at the point where he said, well, it doesn't really matter what you're doing in my jungle, I am the better team fighter. And all I have to do is get myself to the point where I can, find the avenues for ganks, find the way to get my team ahead, and then I'll just snowball ahead of you. And I'll be so tanky that it doesn't... He got to play a Mumu, game 3, I think game 1, and then game 2 he played Nocturne. Or no, was that Nocturne played against him? I'm crazy.
I think against him.
Good lord, I might be crazy. I think he's played a Mumu all 3 games. Maybe I'm just dumb. Doesn't matter. But on the other hand, I think that in my mind, I think that definitely the one I'm looking at is going to be Daydreams. I think that across the 3 games, and I mean, you saw it very heavily in the first game, where a lot of, and I mean, you see it so often in this Etheric Daydreams bot lane. You see Etheric just gets
the opportunity to get ahead and make so many of these plays off the back of Daydream's just finding things for him. And Laxton said it earlier in another set. It's actually just the mama bird, just finding the worms, plucking them off the tree, and just feeding them down its throat, and just saying, "Here's the kills. I'm just gonna put them there." And I mean, it just happens. And you saw there were a lot of solo kills. I mean, a lot of movements from Etheric where he was definitely ahead. And I mean, you saw just the way that Etheric came forward on AD carry and really showed that he's the best. But I think that between the Thresh game, the Alistar game, the Tahm Kench game, I think that coming together for the team, finding the engages on the Alistar, several of the team fights that weren't coming off the back of an Amumu engage were off of his Alistar. And several times in the third game, you saw the Tahm Kench saves, and you saw the ultimates get into the right place. I think that I would probably hand my MVP of the series to Daydreams, with very notable mention to Kairos, and an absolutely incredible shout out to Freshburger, who was an absolute rock in the top lane all 3 games. Because I remember going into the set, we talked a lot about the importance of the solo lanes. The very explosive Fuji versus Steven Dana matchup in the top lane, and the very rock solid Freshburger Goose top lane matchup in the top lane, and how those two would look and how important those would be to shape the landscape of this match. And Freshburger showed that Goose could come up to him and say, "If these are the picks you're going to hand me, I will do my job, no matter what you try to do to me." So definitely shout outs to him, definitely well done. But I think if it were in my hands, I would hand the MVP to Daydreams. And how do you feel, Quasars?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with you. But I would like to point out that when Frisian has ever had to go against Galio, it's always been tough because he plays typically mages. He tried to play Ahri into it, didn't go too well. But I would like to say that Fuji is really good about playing around those Galio skill shots. He was just walking around them like they were nothing. It was just a block on the map that he could walk around. It's his predictions were really well, and then not only that, but he was able to play around what Galio was able to try to accomplish at least. And I just want to give a shout out to him for those mechanics there, because not a lot of people are confident going into any matchup against Galio. So kudos to him.
Definitely.
Yeah. But I would have to agree with you and say that Daydreams was definitely doing work all 3 games for sure.
Right. We are going to hand our MVP of this series to White Lotus Daydreams, and see if we are joined here today by the man of the hour, the support with the most. We are here with Daydreams of White Lotus.
Hey,
how you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing. It was nice. We didn't come into that series expecting a 3-0, but we just kind of played our game, and yeah, it feels great.
And I mean, we talked about it up and down. We did interviews, we did podcasts. I mean, we talked about the White Lotus machine, the White Lotus. Just what's worked for you guys throughout all of this. The whole thing. And I mean, do you feel like you had to play a different style against Schism today to achieve the White Lotus goal?
So I've been hinting at it every time I get interviewed, just because it's fun. But we knew that they play a very more standard kind of game. They have coaches, they have a very dedicated staff to helping them achieve things. So we knew that this was going to be more of a not a troll. I don't want to say a troll team, but when we played NFG, there are so many things that came at us from left field that we weren't prepared for. Whereas with Schism, we knew what we were going to expect. We knew how to draft against them. We had a good prep work done and good scrims, and we were prepared. Whereas with NFG, there's so many things that came out of nowhere. But no, even throughout the series and through this whole entire league, it's always been teams that play the unorthodox strategies against us that really shine. So yeah, no, I think that we definitely played a little bit different in game 1 and 2. We played super aggro. We were never afraid to fight. We were just wanting to dominate the early game and then just transition. They did a really good job of stopping that in the second game, but we just were able to press on because we drafted a late game insurance policies and a good split pusher. And then in game 3, we decided to go ahead and play our style and just see if we could just stranglehold the map, and we were able to do that.
Definitely. Yeah, I was gonna say definitely the difference and sort of the flip flop, and I mean giving the shout outs to NFG as they are, the very volatile. Yeah, I was talking about what weaknesses do you find in the White Lotus sort of armor that Schism could have carried forward to this set, and I think that strength that you have, and I mean you saw it, and it's really funny. I mean you look across the board, the game losses you have, to Red Dust, to Purple Cobras, to the games to NFG. They're all teams that they just kind of throw things at you, and I mean they're all very not disorganized teams, but I mean that is sort of the chaos they thrive in, and I think that White Lotus throughout the season has sort of found that chaos is not what they're comfortable with, and I think that Schism, which sort of deviated as a team that thrived on that early aggression, that chaos coming forward. I think that they turned a lot of that down. So I think that maybe going forward that they tried to sort of adapt themselves into a mini White Lotus, and you just kind of out White Lotus them at some point, because I think that a lot of the similar rotations, a lot of the ways they were looking to play the game, convert into team fights, didn't work out for them. And I think that when you're seeing more, I'm getting a lot into the same point of what I just said, I guess, but you're getting into finding the situations where you expecting. Do you get to the point where you have to expect the unexpected, and you just say, well, even if we know other teams got to watch the White Lotus NFG match, and they saw the Teemo taking wins, they saw the crazy picks coming off the walls, they saw how to throw White Lotus off their game. Do you think that's more of a mentality issue, or more of a we just have to prepare for more things that are unpreparable?
I don't want to try to downgrade any team here, but like coaches in this league make things so much easier for players, but at the same time makes it easier for teams to scout against. Because if you have a coach, then you're going to be an organized team. So that they're going to have picks already ready. They're going to scout you, and you're actually able to do a pretty cool pick ban where pick ban actually matters a lot. You have the contested picks from each side. You have the way that you're going to prioritize those picks. So I think honestly that we did just a really good job of preparing for pick ban, and I think we just did a really good job of preparing for Schism as a whole. So I think that really is the main reason why we did so well in this series. And then looking back through the season, obviously we've always had Dissonant or Coach Dude with us. And we've just been kind of chaotic, but we really came together this week in scrimmed practice and just all around communication. Like we just took it to a step above than what we always have done, and just cleaned everything up. And you saw like it just made it really cohesive, really smooth and sleek, and yeah, it felt really good.
Gotcha. Quasar, do you have anything?
I think you pretty much covered it.
I'm trying to think of something else. I know I want to say one more thing. I feel like I have something in the back of my head, but what? Okay, so let's look a little forward now. So you won the Games XP Championships before. What's from your perspective, what would you say, is, I guess maybe not advice, but what would you want to say to teams, going forward to the next season of Games XP, coming into the next season now that they've seen the White Lotus machine just absolutely do what they've done, and how do you think that teams going forward should look to try to get up to that level of success? So what advice do you think you would give to teams coming forward next season?
I think the main advice I could give to anybody is just owners of teams and organizations, getting a very good foundation before the league even starts, and then doing a very exhaustive, geez, I can speak English, I promise, tryout premise. Like, if you can get players that synergize correctly together, everything else just moves upwards from there. If you can get 5 guys that can hang out and not flame each other based on something, then you're going to have a really good framework for a team. And then you get good coaching staff, and that's it. That is the key to a good team. Just building that synergy and building comps that work for you, and getting a coach that can keep you going, keep that mental going, and that can also help prepare you. I think that's the solution to a winning team.
Fair enough. I like it. Definitely good advice. Good to know. And I mean, we saw it. These are the two teams at the top, White Lotus and Schism. They both have coaches. They both have a full staff. They both have their organizations. And I mean, it's as much as you want to give it to the teams that are along the line of the playoffs. At the edge, that does give you an edge. That is just a natural thing that will work out for you. Your mental, your ability to improve, all things that are major to playing in these long tournament series that last for multiple months. So definitely great advice. And of course, the traditional ender here. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to give? Feel free.
Actually, I have a lot this time, so sorry.
Go for it.
So I'm just gonna shout out every single one of my teammates because they played so well tonight. Burger just killed it in the top lane. Like, just absorbed so much pressure from the jungle, but didn't ever falter. Just gave it back equally, if not more, than he got it. Kairos, I'm sorry, played phenomenally today in the jungle. Like his pathing and the way he moved around the map, he didn't hardly die at all. Like, he had less deaths than me, and just always being there at the right time. Like, he just played out of his mind today. Fuji, he's always just doing stuff in the mid lane. I don't even know. Sometimes I just look up and he's getting a double kill or a solo kill, and I'm like, okay, cool, mid's going well. And then my lane partner Aether, who, while I have to save him sometimes, he still has really good mechanics. He plays really well in lane. He's probably somebody I have the most synergy with that I think I've ever played with. So just a really good player all around. And then I want to shout out the Baby Shark song, who continuously kept our mental going for this whole week and this really tough scrum schedule that we had this week. Basically, anytime we'd falter, we just do Baby Shark do 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 do, and boom, right back on the track, and it was great. So yeah, thank you, Baby Shark song. That was great. I appreciate you, whoever made that. But that's it. That's all I got.
Incredible. Hey man, everyone's got to have a trick. It is what it is. But that's incredible. And I mean, great job tonight. White Lotus showed up. White Lotus, they started the season week 1 strong. Ended the season. I can also use English. I ended the playoff season just as strong. So very well done, Daydreams. Thanks for joining us for the interview. Enjoy your Games XP Season 4 title. And thanks for joining us for the interview.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Not a problem. So everyone in chat, make sure you stick around. Stay tuned. We've got a special video for you guys coming up, highlighting the future of Games XP Championship, including the next season. So we got that for you in just a couple seconds. Stay tuned. And there you go. You've got yourself a fresh look at the next season of Games XP Championship. Thank you for joining us here at the playoff finals. For those of you who were somehow just joining us, that was White Lotus versus Schism. White Lotus won the set 3-0. They take the championship for Season 4. And we'll look forward to getting back to you this Sunday, most likely, with a lovely little podcast. But other than that, I've had fun tonight. I know my co-cast had fun tonight. I'm Skyson. That's Quasars.
Hey.
And,
or should I say bye because we're logging off?
Either or works. You know, we are heading out. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great night. If you're out there playing Clash, win all your games. Don't feed, and have a good night.